Lahi?
Lahi, hehu, hohu, hohi, hehi, wahu. Found out recently, by the way, that they are like I don't want to say stock footage, but like open source things or whatever. You can buy. They're samples, I guess. Is the singing is a sample.
Yeah.
From somewhere, and there's one or two other songs in Final Fantasy 14 that has a similar thing. They've gotten a sample from somewhere, and then he just reuses it. And particularly, there's a zone later on called Bozja or Boja. I don't know how it's pronounced. The Boshan Southern Front that has a similar type of thing. It might even be the same singer singing, and in that entire zone, multiple songs uses sort of that bit and that melody and that singing, and it's done really well. And it's kind of crazy to know that this came from like one little CD with like samples of the singing, you know, and then that's how Soken used all of it. It's pretty cool. Music is kind of magic, isn't it? Like making good music. It's like a big sort of puzzle piece, or like you cook, you put a bunch of stuff together and you just make something great if you're done. And if you're bad at it, it doesn't sound great.
It is amazing how people make multi-layered symphonies and all of that malarkey.
Yeah. We're like, all right,
apparently it's
put in
World
some
Toilet
drums.
Day.
What does that mean?
We should go poop? I don't know.
I
What does
already
World
did that
Toilet
today.
Day entail?
I'm
You're already ahead of the curve.
I'm ahead of the game. Yeah, easy peasy. Got it sorted early. Yeah, that is a weird day to have.
A lot of the world doesn't have toilets. Oh, is it awareness?
World Toilet Awareness Day. Well, I'm aware of my toilet, so I'm ahead of that one as well.
My toilet's very aware of me.
Oh. Oh dear. I finally made... So we have tons of new emotes now. Did you see that? Twitch gave us new emotes. Or emote slots, rather. I've been needing a couple sorted out for a while. But
well, you don't have your follower ones or your animated ones. And now you've got 4 more.
Yeah.
It's funny because back in March, because my birthday is in March and people were very generous, and I unlocked probably the highest emote slot that I'll unlock. So I got those emotes and I was like, this is me done. I can retire happy knowing that I've got all my emotes. Then they introduced animated ones. Then they introduced follower ones. And now they've just given us 4 random ones. And I'm like, no! I came up with all my ideas. Stop it!
Exactly, yeah.
It is nice people getting more bang for their buck, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's all good. It's good to see people having it all available. And then what I personally like is seeing affiliates getting cool stuff as well. Because, you know, not everyone is lucky enough to be able to get partner. So people who can get affiliates still be able to get some cool stuff. That's pretty neat. The only problem I have is coming up with ideas. And after coming up with an idea, getting around to getting it sorted, you know? Like, okay, this is a good idea. This is what I want to do. I'm probably going to end up sending... Yeah, exactly. But it's easier for you. Like, you literally have Nina on speed dial on Discord or whatever. Like, I have to send an email to the Yogscast art team and be like, hello, sirs and madams. Do you have perhaps...
No, I still go through the proper
proper channels? Okay.
But it helps if you slide some saucy fanfic of Amaric to Nina.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in the DMs, be like,
by the way, no, Amaric fist bump.
She's moved on from Amaric now.
Oh, really?
Who was it she drew the other day? It was...
Let me guess.
The one who's got the... No.
No?
Xenos and Emmett Selk.
It's Emmett Selk, yeah.
She was basically back in June she did like some drawings of Roman Reigns.
Oh,
and then she didn't use Twitter for like 5 months, and then she came back to draw topless pictures of Xenos, and I pointed that out to her, and she was like, "Shut up!" Like, I'm just saying.
That's Nina. That's Nina's thing, which is fair, you know.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that someone gets inspired, you know.
Yes.
Draw topless people.
She says that it's because muscles are interesting to draw, but
Oh yeah, right.
that old excuse.
That-
You know, she reads the magazines for the articles.
Exactly, yeah. I understand that one. Jeez. So, how about you? What muscles do you... No, how far along are you? Have you played anything
Am I
recently?
Brigante? Oh,
No, no!
is this how you find out that
No.
I'm pregnant?
Greg? Berganax? No,
In Fafa. Oh, still dwindling in the boring depths of whatever the heck it is I'm doing. I'm in whichever one is just the one that's a bit boring. I don't care about it at all, and I tried to make myself,
Wow.
and I can't.
Alright, fair enough.
But apparently the next bit is good. Unlike this bit.
I mean, I don't know how to continuously defend Stormblood to people. It's not as good as Heavensward or Shadowbringers, but there are some
Yeah.
really, really good bits in it. It's just paced a lot slower.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. I think even if you are really bored with it, it's worth sort of pushing on to see the really good bits and eventually to see Shadowbringers, because that is, I'm sure you must have heard from your crew as well. Not to mention how much my crew has been talking about it. Like, Shadowbringers
I do
is
want to get
really,
through
really good.
to it.
Yeah.
Alex has cancelled his subscription.
No.
I know.
I don't even
said,
know what
let's
games
just
he...
get through.
I don't even know what
to
games
that
he
bit.
plays.
You don't even know what
Barely
games he
Dota.
plays.
What games does he play?
He's really into Cyberpunk at the moment.
That's good, to be fair. I mean, not so much that, oh my god, what a great game, but it's good that he's playing something.
Actually, no. Do you know what he is doing?
Oh no.
I just
This doesn't sound
remembered he's
personal.
playing
Yeah.
Last of Us 2 but
Again?
on permadeath.
What?
Which
What?
means I'm just having to relive the thing that I deny ever happens, and I count
Yeah.
this as a fan fiction spin-off game because it didn't happen.
That's how I treat
just
the
have
last-
to keep living it over and
Yeah.
over and over, and I'm like, no, stop it. I said he could play the game on the one condition that any mention of that never happens when I'm in the room.
That's fair, yeah. That's how I treat the last two expansions of World of Warcraft. It didn't happen. They're not real. It ended with Legion. That's it.
I'm very much in the sort of, Kazuma went on holiday.
Yeah.
That's my, I apply similar logic to Last of Us 2.
I think that's fair. I think that is absolutely fair. Some games is better to pretend they didn't happen. Not necessarily because they are horrible games or something, but it's just better if they didn't, you know? I want to hear different music, so I'm going to go in here instead.
I can't hear them. Oh, I've got Parsec muted.
Oh god. You just open up the start menu on my computer.
There we go. I got music now.
Nice.
It's because I had to mute it for streaming with Kirsty.
Yeah, because she doesn't have a pro setup.
Wow, it's because otherwise I hear all of her TTS alerts.
Oh, right. God, she has a lot of them.
It's too much for my delicate brain.
This one, there's some simples. There's a yahaha every now and then. Sometimes a cooking sound for a raid. That's mostly it. That's good.
Thank you, my love.
Did you get some
Does
tea?
the bunny you talk to have a Swedish accent? Yes. Meridian is just one big bunny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's true.
I did get some tea. It's very good
Nice.
service here.
Yes. Do you only have the one type of tea?
Just
'Cause
breakfast, yeah.
Yeah, because I've talked to Nelsy, and he's like I mentioned different types of tea I have, and it's like, that's not real tea. Like, I have tea. I should have proper tea. Like, what's proper tea? He's like, I don't know, builders. He says, like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Builder's tea, I think, is just very strong, sweet tea, I think. Or
I
maybe
think he
that
has,
is just
like-
another name for English breakfast.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? I assume he has like a kind of tea, like one brand or
Yeah.
whatever, and then to him that's normal tea. For me, that was always Earl Grey. Like when I grew up, Earl Grey was like standard tea because that's what we had the most of.
Yeah.
But these days I have multiple kinds. I've got like strawberry tea. I have chai tea. I have tropical fruit tea. I have Prince of Wales. I have Russian Earl Grey. I have Lady Grey. I have normal Grey. I also have Lipton Yellow Label tea. And, well, that's all I have at home at the moment. But I used to have more.
Yeah. I very much just have English breakfast tea.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have that as
I
well.
don't like a fruit tea or anything that I like.
Mm.
Alex likes lots of different teas. He'll have
Yeah.
like green teas and stuff. But
Mm.
I will have Earl Grey if ever I feel I have to be either have a bad headache or feel really sad, and then I'll get
Oh.
the urge for Earl Grey.
Okay. Wow.
But it's because when I was little, my mum got this box of Earl Grey, like a wooden box, and then after she'd had all the tea, I got to keep the box and I would keep trinkets in it. But it still to this day smells of Earl Grey. So it's just a very like nostalgic smell for me. So if ever I feel really down, I'll be like, I want an Earl Grey to there's some
Okay.
comfort.
That's fair.
Reminds me of my trinkets.
I think my current favorite is Prince of Wales. But to be honest, I have a hard time explaining why. I guess it tastes better. I guess I don't know.
I have a theory, but I
yeah.
don't think it's scientific at all.
No, okay.
That right, you know the way that wines get matched with food.
Yeah.
I think that we all have different flavor spit, and our spit goes with different foods better than others, and that's why we have different tastes in things.
Maybe. I mean, it's not impossible, but that to me is just your description, your idea of like, oh, what people taste, you know, like, so the entire sense of taste is reduced now to like how spit mixes
How
with.
your spit tastes. Well, it just explains why.
Also, can we call it saliva
Alex-
instead of spit?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, saliva.
'Cause
Alex
I think
really
it's-
likes olives.
I think
but
it's
to me, they
saliva
taste
inside your mouth. As soon as
horrible.
it leaves your mouth, it becomes spit. Right?
that's fair.
That makes sense,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So olives,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think I like olives, but I think part of me is like decided I didn't like olives so long ago and has never had them since. But I'm pretty sure I don't like them.
Mouth bacteria or taste buds. I guess it could be.
Well, see, that's what I always thought, right? Like each
Yeah.
human has slightly different taste buds, and so they like different things. What is that? What, coriander? Like that some people really hate and some people like.
I hate coriander.
Yeah, I don't even know if I like coriander or not.
Like,
I
if
have never
people-
felt they say like it tastes like soap. I've never felt that, so I'm probably fine with it. But yeah.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's if like you know, the coriander tends to just be used as like a thing sprinkled on top. But if they do that, it's literally the only taste that I can taste in the whole thing, and I'm like, please
Oh,
no.
no.
But then some people say that they can't even taste it.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
To me,
taste
it's
is
very
weird
strong.
anyway.
It's very strange.
What I find weird is it also is so very closely connected to smell, right? So,
Yeah.
so if you have a cold or whatever, or your nose is blocked, things taste a lot less. And they say if you eat an apple but you block your nose, it basically
you
is the
can
same
eat
as eating a
it.
potato.
Yeah, people can't tell the difference.
Yeah, which is crazy. It is crazy.
Yeah. I guess there's also like different textures can put us off. Like I like peas, mushy peas. Blah.
Yeah. Well, I like pineapple, but I don't really like eating the pineapple fruit. But the flavor of pineapple, I'm pretty happy with.
Like, so you'd have like pineapple juice and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good laxative.
So I've been told. I haven't really eaten enough of it to notice it myself. Hey, today is originally when Final Fantasy 14 new expansion was supposed to come out. Well,
yeah.
yes, but in a different place, but no lie. Yes. But I get delayed 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from now, Final Fantasy in the middle of Jangle Jangle.
2 weeks from now, you don't want to stream with me.
Well, 2 weeks from now, it'll be Jangle Jangle anyway.
That's true.
If I've played my cards right with Lewis, I will actually be streaming with you a lot during Jangle Jangle, because I specifically asked for you and Kirsty and friends.
Can you not put me with?
Ooh, that's awkward.
So we need time apart. He's very fed up with me already. We need a break.
We still haven't done Playtime or Mario Party, so jeez.
I did specifically put a message in our Discord earlier to wind you up.
Oh yeah? Which one?
In the Dota chat. I don't know why I poke the bear so much. I can't help it.
Which one was it that poked the bear?
You don't like it when I call No-Tail Big Daddy. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. That's the one. Well, yeah. I mean, I can't like blame you when he's the guy who called himself that for like a year before he came to his senses and came back to No-Tail. Oh yeah.
I'm worried though because OG posted a tweet earlier that was just someone with a sword through their neck saying I'm fine. So I'm worried that Tops and not No-Tail are gonna be.
Yeah, well they also posted a meme of, Tom Holland or Spider-Man pre-dusting.
Oh yeah.
With the text saying like OG good. Original roster. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark.
I think I'm gonna have to get a new team.
I mean, you kind of have to. Like, OG was my team during TI, but, they were out, and after that, I just, like, all right, well, I'm cheering on Team Spirit then, because they were the underdogs, and that was cool. And then they won the whole thing, so, like, yay! But, yeah, we're gonna have to... I don't know. I haven't found a team I've truly, really liked for a long time. I can't get myself to really cheer for, like, EG or Secrets. Like, they're like...
Nope, I don't like Puppy.
It's like going into football and be like, who's the current top team that has all the money and all the riches and all the best players? They are the ones I'm into. It's like, really? Like, no. Like, I need to find some sort of, like, some cool thing or cool history with a couple of players that Alliance went apart because I liked them back when they were Alliance. From TI3, TI4, maybe even TI5. And then after that I had a few changes and I still kind of liked them, but After that I've been floundering around. And before that it was Fnatic, which they were also cool. Which included, of course, No-Tail and Fly in the gang at the time. And then No-Tail and Fly ripped apart. That was a big one.
I do tend to go for individuals over teams sometimes.
I think that's the only reasonable things to do.
I like Matumba Man.
Yeah. I think you have to go for individuals because teams tend to have so many if you like X teams, like that's just a name. Like there's different people so often, It's not really the same. So you have to stick to like usually a group of people. Which is why it was nice when OG mostly had like their 5 with floating 2-3 extra with like Anna in, Thompson in, Anna out, Thompson out, etc. with some friends. Will there be no Viridian streams during Jangle Jangle? No, there'll be plenty, hopefully. But the schedule is gonna be a bit whack because
whack.
Yeah, WACQ. We're gonna have. I'm gonna do a bunch of streams for the Jangle, but I'm also gonna make sure to stream something here to this channel. I gotta provide value for those people who have subscribed and are wanting to watch. So we'll figure out once we have the Jangle schedule.
Yeah. I think I'm only doing like 1 or 2 things. So
I think I might be like 2 or 3. I'm doing Protest stream with Nalzi. I'm also probably doing the late stream, like the very last Jangle stream, probably.
Oh yeah.
And I'm probably joining in for 1 or 2 bigger group games. I'm doing the Civ game or whatever, like we always do.
Yeah.
And again, no confirmations, but I'm sure there'll be some funny, cute indie game or whatever. I'll end up playing with like you and Kirsty or someone, which should be fun. But who knows? We'll see. Again, the schedule is coming soon. It's like either coming like today or Monday, probably. For us, probably not public, but like for us. So we can
meet up with Rillian. Yes.
Yeah, for example. What is that official, or is that just someone asking? Yes, it's definitely official. Now. Yeah, it's official. Yeah. I've said I would play it. I have a key for it now. Alex gave me one. He said like, "Hello, here is key," and I'm like, "Thank you for key." And I haven't played it yet, but you keep talking about it so much, and I'm like, okay.
Alex, my Russian husband. Hello, here is key.
Hello, here is key. Thank you. Oh, should I say spasiba? Yeah. Yeah.
I in that form that we had to fill out, we didn't have to fill out, but that we filmed out for Jangle Gyms, and it said, anything else you'd like to do? And I said, Dota ARDM. I think it got ignored.
Yeah.
What if?
That could be, I mean, I don't know. I think we have enough people to play Dota that know a little bit. Remember when Rocket League was about to almost not happen? And there were people saying, yeah, maybe we do some Dota? Of course, it's like, no, I refuse, no.
Well, I mean, Kirsty's first introduction to Dota maybe wasn't the nicest of introductions, because I guess if it's a game you've never played before and then having to do it for a tournament in front of loads of people instead of being able to, like, you know, gradually find the game yourself or do a tutorial or anything, it was just like, no, here's loads of people watching you now, and this is also going to be made into a YouTube video, by the way.
To be fair, that's my life. That's what I do all the time. Like when it's like time for a morning recording. Okay, hello, we're playing this today. This is going out on the main channel. Everyone will judge you. That's just what what's happening a lot. So
that's true. It's like when I played Pico Park. You weren't there for that, were you?
I know about it. I don't know if I was there when you actually played it, but
one of the, I know you shouldn't read the comments, but one of the comments was, because basically I knew that to go through the door at the end of a level you could press W, but it turns out you could also just press up on the D-pad on the controller. But I was so scared by the atmosphere of the game that every time I just leant forward and pressed W, because I was like, I'm not even trying anything on the controller.
So you were playing with the controller and then
leaning forward and pressing W, and then someone in the comments was like, Briony didn't even think of trying the D-pad, like, what an idiot, sort of thing. And I was just like, I was terrified. If I had have pressed up on the D-pad and it had have done something in the game that caused us to lose the level, I would have just wanted to curl up in a corner. So I was like, I'm just going to stick to W because I know it works.
I watched that video and I'm glad I wasn't part of it, because it would have been hard not to explode in rage at Pedguin and Ravs, and I would have been like just blocking my mouth with everything I have to make sure I don't say stuff I will regret. It's live on TV. Well, but, you know.
I was like, I'm just gonna try my best.
Yeah.
Don't touch
but
anything.
The problem is, you try your best and then someone just trolls. And all right, fine. Try best and it's a troll again. It's like, okay, here we go. You try your best and troll, and then you do one thing and they're like, Rivian, why do you always troll? Oh, clenched fists breaks controller. Like, it's hard sometimes.
I was honestly at some points of that where I was almost like crying. I was laughing so much because the problem is, like some people, they get saltier and saltier and it makes them angry. Whereas I go the opposite way. I start finding it funnier the worse it gets, and then obviously that's bad when you're sat like 3 feet away from Rabs, who is slowly turning tomato red with anger, and I'm just there like, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh.
Yeah, it's terrifying. That game is like designed around people trolling. Like literally, like buttons called "Don't push this button," and then you can do that to stop everyone from progressing. Like, oh my god. Yeah.
Dear, oh dear. Should we play the game?
Oh, game! Right. Game. 26 minutes in. I forgot about. I didn't forget, but yeah.
I've forgotten where we're up to.
So, last week on Ace Attorney Chronicles, we continued the trial and asked a lot more questions of Nash and Ringo, and we ended up having to talk about guns, blood colors, and bullets. And then turns out that the doctor on the jury was the guy who performed surgery on Herlock Sholmes.
Yes.
And then we talked about the third accomplice that we proved there has to be a third accomplice.
Egg.
And he was Egg Benedict Man. And then we showed a picture of Egg Benedict. And turns out the telegram, the Morse code telegram juror knew that person. And said she also was a signal command officer. So then we were now going to go call on him. And so that's why we're taking a short break. And then we're going to... Thank you for subscribing. A Big Bear XPA. A Big Bear, a Big X, a Big A. I have put in 2 new emotes, which is objet and kshun, like the little speech bubble, like objection from things. So it's fitting for today, you know. So you have to type 2 of them, and then you get objection, and then you get a thing. Like for example, when we're about to start the game, Captain Phoenix said, "Objection! I want more banter." So, but don't worry. Don't worry,
saying,
it's coming.
I want a Briony and Rithian podcast. But I feel like you need a podcast that's based around something. We'd have to have a thing.
We need a loose subject matter to talk about. Like, we need something. Like, as long as there is a 1 point to it, the rest of it can easily be filled out with random talk, you know? Like, I don't know if we can do stuff like the Triforce, whatever. They just show up and they just like, let's talk about stuff mostly, and it works. It works for them. I would do it something like, you know, the Vidiots. They have a podcast called the Podiots, where they're idiots on a podcast rather than being idiots on video. And on that one, they basically just they obey the rule of the 3 us. When each of them brings a thing along to talk about. So they all have like, okay, I'll talk about this on the podcast. So something, they talk about it and then so they have specifically they can talk about something, you know, and then of course questions and stuff from viewers and patrons, whatever. I think that's a pretty solid way to do it. Like just specifically have each participant on the podcast be like, you need to bring some content to this. We're just not sitting there going like, so what up with you? You know, you get something.
Today I learned.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the cool place to get all the information. So, TIL. Ooh, this is interesting. And you read up on it. I'll bring that to the podcast. And then you go like, hello, Briony. For this week, I brought along the ancient mystery of Beaverton Goldblack, who long ago visited 5 different countries in 2 days. And do you want to know how he did it? Etc., etc., etc. And then you talk about that. Plain.
Oh.
That's the end of the story. It wasn't very exciting. He just flew by plane. But yeah. Yeah. To be honest, like, we tend to get our podcasty impulses out in these streams. but I mean,
True.
I am not
Imagine
complaining.
if we did a podcast together and then the beginning of Friday streams was just awkward silence because we've said
Yeah,
everything.
we've already said
Just
everything. Unlikely though, unlikely. But I've been thinking when we finish this case, which should maybe 1 or 2 streams away, and then there'll be December, so jangle. At that point, though, we should maybe take, before we jump right into like, case 2-1 or whatever you want to call the next one. We can maybe do something else, and we can maybe invite some other persons for guest stars, like I don't know, Kirsty or Alex or whoever, and do some like 3-person, 4-person stuff for a bit. Silas, maybe Boba, someone.
Yeah.
And like have like a week, a few weeks, or a month or whatever when we try other stuff like Mario Party or Played Up or whatever. I don't know how long we can feasibly continue playing Played Up, but
I mean, it depends if you're me.
the game has no music. That's to me the biggest problem with the
I
game.
just listen to Epidemic.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what I'll do as well. Or just like load up Final Fantasy 14 soundtrack, and then all of a sudden it's like, Shiva fight music, and oh my god, it's super hype or whatever. Yeah, that's weird. Do we know when it's gonna get updated? How early is it?
Very early.
Okay.
But the game dev's really nice. He's so good as well. Like, literally, people will be like, he'll release an update, and someone will say, "Oh, there's this bug," and he'll just be like, "Yeah, I fixed it." And I'm like, "What?"
That's cool. That's cool.
His Discord is very active.
But because you're there, you answer every question. Yeah. You're basically like assistant to the dev.
It's got to the point where, because we finally got to do 4-player Played Up the other day. We were making pies in our little pie restaurant, and someone said in the Played Up Discord, they were like, "Oh, do you know like when this update's going to be out?" And the game dev replied, "Oh yeah, that was meant to be out a couple hours ago, but I got distracted watching this really disastrous 4-player pie restaurant." And I was just like, when you're so bad at the game, you hold up development.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
I was just like, that's me.
I got a question from La Chouette, who said,
La Chouette? Dude. Sorry.
Yeah, close. Almost. Yeah. Seeing the Streamlabs thing made me think of a question. Have you heard about the recent news concerning Streamlabs and OBS? Have you heard about this?
I have, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so for those of you not in the know, Streamlabs is a company or something, and they have released a program which I have been using for years now, called Streamlabs OBS, which is Slobs, which is because basically ages ago for streaming, people used a bunch of programs that tend to usually be like cost money or whatever. XSplit was a popular one that was used, and then Open Broadcast Studio was an open source program that was released and available for people to use, and it was really good. And everyone used OBS, and I used OBS for a long time. And then Streamlabs, the company, who do a lot of stuff as well, like they run a bot you can run, and they have a good dashboard that shows you a lot of information, and they have a lot of themes and layouts and pre-made stuff you can get, and so on. And of course, they have a Prime version of all their stuff where you get money. They released Streamlabs OBS, which is basically just the baseline OBS with a lot of stuff in it. For example, you can see all the latest notification, you can see chat built in, you have a lot of like useful settings and so on. It's a good program. It has a lot of stuff in it. However, they weren't supposed to call it Streamlabs OBS because that was like OBS's name thing. They just used that thing to sort of piggyback onto the popularity. And it's so popular now that like it's kind of causing problems for OBS. People come in asking questions about OBS, and turns out they're using Streamlabs OBS, and so on. It's become a big thing. And they've recently like stolen a lot of, basically ripped off more so than stolen, like a program called, like, I think Lightstream, that is similar stuff as well. And overall, it seems like they're kind of been kind of dicks about stuff like that in the past, of just sort of like not necessarily breaking the law as such, but not really being nice to people and like you know, copying their homework without doing a lot of the work, etc. You know, that sort of thing. So overall, I know you just use OBS, right? You just use the base OBS Studio, which I think it's called now. Yeah. I used that for a while, but I swapped over to Streamlabs OBS, and I have many times almost swapped to OBS Studio back again because there's now, it has been for a while, there's like an added plugin called, I think, OBS Live, that you can add in a lot of the features that OBS has by default. For me, it's just nice to have all of it on one screen, which before with OBS, I couldn't have like the latest notifications and chat and OBS on the same screen without having like multiple windows open and stuff. So that was nice. But arguably at this point, if Streamlabs is not as cool, they're not as cool people. Like, they haven't broken the law or done anything truly horrific or anything. They just kind of been dicks about stuff, not giving enough credit, etc. Maybe it's a good time to check out some alternatives. Anyway, that's just something I've been thinking about. But honestly, it's a minor thing, and people shouldn't really get particularly up in arms about it. But, you know, maybe if you are a streamer or whatever, consider some alternatives. It's always good for competition, and any less monopoly on everything is better. IMO.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just a bit parts that they used. It's like you say, it's not illegal, but it is a bit immoral.
It's a bit of a dick move. And then they also have this thing where, like, if you donate to someone, a lot of people use donations, like, and they use it via Streamlabs. Like, that's very common. That, like, rather than, like, here's a donation, it goes directly to PayPal page or whatever, or you know, like, donate directly to my credit card. Like, it goes via a Streamlabs thing, which means it's sort of like there's like a step between the donator and you and your PayPal or whatever, which is nice for security reasons, it feels like. But Streamlabs' in-between page has a lot of like stuff. You can go pro donate or whatever, and it's like, okay, well, Streamlabs has their own things where they want to make money from there, and then they have like a lot of things like by default you sign up for like recurring charges and stuff. I don't know the exact details, but you have to sort of pay attention when you do, because otherwise you can accidentally sign up for stuff you don't want to sign up for. That's not so great either. So dirty. Back to the podcast. Yeah, we made it about 1 minute of gameplay before we had 10 minutes more chats, pretty much. Yeah. So overall, I would say people maybe look into it and consider changing. I have considered changing, and honestly, like, it seems nice. But on the other hand, like, why is OBS Live better than the Streamlabs? Like, it's still using the same name, but I guess maybe the name is fine. I guess it depends. You know, it's an open source program anyway, right? OBS, so that's the entire point. People can use it and use the code. That's what open source is supposed to lead to. So that's not strange. That's intentional, you know. Anyway, game.
Here we go.
These are some. I keep thinking of, like, you know, I'm saving these out as
another thing.
Yeah. I save these out as like highlights and stuff on my Twitch channels, like, so the VODs don't disappear after 2 months or whatever.
Yeah. And
like, oh yeah, and it always feels weird to name them. Oh yeah, Ace Attorney stream, 4 and plus hours of Ace Attorney, definitely for real, totally gameplay. 4 hours, yes, not like 1.5 hours of random talk and 2.5 hours of game. So people who are looking back at these streams, I hope they enjoy our random tangents, because that's a lot of these streams. Anyway, you good to go?
Yeah.
What are you giggling
just looking
about?
At Fion.
Oh, I see. Did you guys see on Twitter recently, Briony posted young Jerry pictures?
Baby Jerry.
Yeah. That's cool.
Did you see the video I posted of him today?
No, I haven't seen that yet. What did he do?
He was just licking the tablecloth for no reason. I looked across and he was just doing it, and I was like, why?
Do you think he's the one that's nibbled at your table, or is it Fion?
Oh, yeah, he definitely does.
It's definitely
I tell him
him.
off all the time, but he does it.
Yeah.
He has no respect. He does what he wants.
Yeah, he's a rebel. He's too old for this shit. He didn't have time for rules, you know. 17th of April, 12:41 p.m. The Old Bailey, defendant's antechamber. Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Yeah, she does that a lot, that's true.
Ginny! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? Why go to all this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me? What? Well, you saw it, that picture.
What picture?
Ah, you mean this? The photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder.
Why is it called red-handed recorder?
So it catches them
Is
red-handed.
it catches them red-handed? I guess it's the entirety, yeah? The weird thing for me, though, is, like, it catches them... Like, it's just a photograph, right? So it literally happens 1 second every 30 minutes. That seems like there's a lot of time in between where you can just do stuff without being caught.
Yeah,
on photo.
The hope is that they catch the right minute.
Yeah, and it's always at the whole and half hours. So
yeah.
So she should have really gone in there a minute later. Left a minute later, and she would have been fine. I guess the main thing is, like, you can see... See, that's the thing, right? Like, fair enough if you've done, like, frequent shots to show the differences in what's happened. Okay. But if it's snapshots every half hour, like, the chances of catching someone red-handed seem very slim, you know?
Yeah.
But hey, I guess it worked.
Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that's going to think I did it, ain't they?
Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. How about you tell us why you were there with a gun so we can defend you better, rather than keep it all hidden, like in every goddamn Phoenix Wright games. The victims are always in such suspicious position, and they always have a decent explanation for it, but they'll never tell you. They're always, oh, I just happened to stand there with a knife over the dead body, but I won't tell you why. All I can tell you, I definitely didn't do it. Okay, that's fine. I believe you. Like, no, ask. Why is there? Turns out they just found the knife, and it was ketchup on the blade. It was a different thing.
Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent.
Of course I can.
Humph.
Humph.
Humph. Ginny, why won't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still.
Yeah, like, wow, how much it would have helped if you told us stuff. Like, we don't have to fumble in the dark.
We'd really like to hear it from you. All right, then. It was after we'd had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we had a chat up in your office, didn't we?
Yes, I remember.
After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down to the street to the 2-1. Wait,
to the 2-2-1.
So I slipped out and went down the street to the 2-1 to Windybank's place. I had to know.
Is that what they're called? The 2-1?
I don't know what a
2-2-1 Baker Street?
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It's the street to the 2-1. Yeah. But it would be 2-2-1. Maybe that's just maybe it's a coincidence that it's 2-1. 2-1. Hold on. Googling 2-1. Lang. That's... It's gonna be hard to Google, I think.
Uh,
Yeah. Well, if anyone knows, let us know. If Iris' story was there or not? The Hound of the Baskervilles.
I don't know what it is about or nothing. But if you ask me, there's something in that Sholmes don't like. Something what he don't want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris about sticking it in lug with Winterbank for safekeeping. At least, that's what I thought at the time.
So you broke into Winterbank's?
I just had to know if it was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all of that was going to kick off, did I? I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark as you like in there.
It's S with a light thing. There we go.
So I gave the oil lamp on the counter a bit of wick, and that's when...
What is she doing? Ah!
I nearly died, I did. The next thing I knew... I'd grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving it in the air like, I don't know what.
Ah, you're the girl who was in here this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery. That's his voice now. The man... Oh, that's yours.
Oh, the mantle script. Have you got it here?
Did Sholmes... Oh, no, that's you again.
Did Sholmes leave a load
It's
of paper
hard. We
with
don't
me?
see who it is. We have to guess.
Story.
I beg your pardon?
The Hound of the something or other. If it's here, I want to see it.
I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers.
I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see it's here, that's all.
Oh, well, you want to see it, do you?
I want to know if Sholmes really pawned it here or not. Please, just let me see it and I'll go.
Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
Like the same as it ever was. So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. And it was there all right, the mantle script. Sholmes weren't lying after all. You did all that just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up out in the main bit of shop.
The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes.
What was that noise? Someone's breaking in.
Oh, dear me. Is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me. Sorry.
I'd better go and take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I've come with you and I'll come with you and...
Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back out into the shop. I hung back in the storeroom, like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what was going on. It sounded like they got into a bit of a scrap. I started to think I should help, see? So I was just about to go out in the storeroom myself when...
Bang, bang, yeah, ha ha!
I heard a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there he was, right at my feet, lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like.
Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Winterbank might come for you?
Yeah. So I went to grab the old cove's gun. Figured I'd put up a fight at least. But when I got a better look at him, I knew. Aww.
That he's dead.
He died. Windybank was a goner. I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing.
Maybe they shot in some sort of sleeping gas.
I think she probably just fainted from seeing a dead dude.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe she doesn't like seeing blood and stuff, so she fainted. That must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I hadn't have done what I done, the old cove might still be alive.
Did you tell the police everything you just told us?
Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? All they said was if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me.
It looks like 2-1 is slang alluding to a common symbol representing pawnbrokers of three blue balls. Alternatively, it may be referencing the 2-1 goods pledged are never returns, or never redeemed. That's from an 1811 direction. Even that's a long time ago, but I guess it makes sense. 1811.
Yeah.
The old, I mean, from context clues, that makes sense. Went down to the old 2-1. You win back.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
It'll be all right, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Bruno's about to put the real culprit through the mill.
Damn right I am.
That cove what was there in the afternoon. That Egbert Benedict.
What? It can't be his real name.
His real name is Fry Deg.
Yeah, fried egg. Ah, yes, they call him Omelette.
I still remember how he looked at me like I was nothing. Oh, he was there that night.
We don't know his real name yet, though we have theories. Here's a few of them. Eggs.
Eggs.
But I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. His name is Boyle. Boiled egg.
Ravine says pick L egg.
Pick L egg.
Egg.
His name is Scram. Scram blood eggs. There's so many ways to have eggs. They call him Poe. Poached eggs. Steggs is a really good last name, actually. Steggs, yeah.
Old Steggs.
Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You what? You can leave it all in Bruno's capable hands now, Ginny. Holly says sunny side up.
Nice. Very nice.
Mr. Nara Odo.
Yes?
How come you trust me? I don't get it. I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGill did. We told you a whole pack of lies. And you got the bog trotter off with him, even though he was a killer.
No. I could never forget that.
Oh.
I did what I thought was best at the time. But the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear. Still, don't forget that I also made you a promise. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end, no matter what.
Even when we finally get you off of this murder and you get killed by Van Ziegs the next day,
Exactly.
we'll still be there for you.
Yeah.
But what if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off the Ut Court for all you know.
I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in a trial.
You were?
Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. I was sure that no one would believe it wasn't me who done it.
And then after I left Japan, again, I was
Yeah, it happened
accused
on the
of
boat, actually. Yeah. It happens a lot, surprisingly.
Oh, Runo.
But there was one person who stood up for me, who believed in me, and was prepared to defend me. He's on holiday now, but I'll never forget him. My best friend.
Aww. There he is. Runosuke, no one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need to do is put your faith in me and I'll do the rest.
I was so happy. I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong.
And when he gets back from holiday, we'll see
hug him. Yeah. As soon as my trial began, it was obvious that he had an absolute unwavering belief in me. And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down.
Even though I'm a diver and a no-good liar.
You're not like me, Gilded. I know that.
Eh? That's right. You're our friend, Ginny. Iris.
We know you better than you think. And we've come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust.
Aww. Yes.
It's very nice. It's very wholesome.
It is very wholesome.
Yeah. That's really all we need to know.
Apart from all the murders, of course.
Well, yes, well, that's a side bit. That less wholesome.
Exactly.
It's a very long holiday, isn't it? Kasuma's being very lazy. He's earned it. He's earned a long holiday.
Mr. Naruodo, I... Sniffle, sniffle.
Don't you still kind of have a cold? Couldn't you do a convincing sniffle?
I don't know if that picks up on the mic.
It didn't, sadly, no. But your stream could probably hear it, or at least see it, so that counts.
Defendant Gina Lestrade and a legal representative.
Lestrade himself is calling us in. Or Inspector Gregson, rather, sorry.
Yeah. Court proceedings are about to resume. Not presume.
We're about to presume, we presume.
Please head into the courtroom immediately.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I'd been both a defendant and a defending lawyer in my time. So I knew only too well. Yeah, haha. Thank you, Isle.
Yeah.
It's very kind of you. Brilliant. Just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. We're gonna get that egg sky. Yeah, what is?
I get, like, you know when... Sorry. You know when people say nice things about you?
Yeah.
Like, whenever someone in, like, chat or my Discord says something like, oh, you're really nice or something, I immediately get that thing of, like, no, I'm not. You don't know that. I'm stinky butt. I've lied to you. I'm sorry. And, yeah, it's just immediate. So I can't imagine what I'd
super...
like if I was accused of murder.
Yeah, and then someone's like, I believe in you, and you're like, maybe I did do it, I don't know. I think that is super common for people in our position, right? Like, at least to a certain point. Like, I think in the beginning, whenever people like compliment you and say you're great and you're fantastic and you're lovely and everything, you're like, am I though? Am I?
Like,
I don't think I am. I don't feel like I've earned it. I just play games. Why do people like me so much? I don't get it, you know? And
but you're wrong.
Yeah, and you almost want to start arguing against people sometimes, you know?
Yeah,
but that's like
I'm so bad at taking compliments.
Yeah. And it's this part of that leads into the whole imposter syndrome as well, right? Where like you eventually feel like, oh my god, how have I gotten this far? Like I'm a fraud, I'm a scam. I don't know anything. I'm bad. Why, you know? And it's a problem. It's dealing with success, even like limited success, like for some of us, like it's hard to figure that out.
Like, you finally accept that you have imposter syndrome and you make that little breakthrough, and then that voice in your head goes, you don't have imposter syndrome, you're just actually shit. And you're like, oh, like, okay.
Yeah, or like only actually talented people have imposter syndrome. You're not good enough to have imposter syndrome. You're garbage.
Imposter syndrome's too good for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, back to square one, thank you.
Yeah. No, it's weird. And I think this is weird. This whole influencer thing, which I hate that term, but the whole like...
You said influenza, like the flu. I hate influenza too.
I mean, who doesn't? Yeah. I mean, the whole parasocial thing is dangerous because you always sort of balance on that edge of like, you want to provide entertainment and be friendly to people, and you want yourself to set forth a welcoming and friendly tone, and you want your chat and your community to be friendly, and some people are generally cool people that you kind of want to hang out a little bit in, but it's also very, to me, important that there is a bit of a barrier there, because I don't want to trick people into thinking, hey, we are definitely friends for real, therefore give me all your money. Like, that feels horrible, you know?
You lend me £1,000.
Yeah. So
just friend things.
just hashtag friends. Yeah. But, you know, you also have to accept that you are an entertainer and you are providing a service to people, and a service that doesn't need to be cold and businesslike. There can be a friendly, positive environment, and people can talk on a more friendly terms rather than just like, hello, sir, I have paid my $5 for subscription services. May I receive streams? Like, it doesn't have to be that either. So it's what this whole business
balance.
Is weird. Yeah. The whole
and sometimes it's that thing of like, it becomes very frustrating because I try and do things in a way that I find morally acceptable for me, but then sometimes you just see people, not naming any names, just as a general thing, but you see people who are very much, they just are like, I'm just gonna play into it, and they have like a Patreon where the reward is you can DM me if you pay me this much and stuff, and I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know, goes against everything.
Yeah, like if you join me, you get a special rank, and then once every month I'll join a channel and you get to talk to me. If you pay me at least $15 a month, you can get to talk. Special tier 3 perk, you get to talk to me. Oh no,
do a photo of my elbow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know, like, I don't think I am in the position to try to judge what is right and what is cool to do. I can only do and say things that I think works for myself.
Do it. We cancel you if you get it wrong, don't worry.
Yeah, that's fine. But it's all good. That's always the
I got
endless threat of
my
canceling.
finger over the cancel button right now. Say what you want to say.
What were you saying? I'm ready. I'm standing ready to cancel. But it's like, it's hard to figure, because also those people who have that, they make mad dollar bills. Like, it works. That's the worst part. You know, if you've ever seen like an annoying YouTube video that does a bunch of annoying things, or you see a thumbnail and the thumbnail is really annoying, or classic annoying titles for streams, or really like money hungry things, it works. Otherwise people wouldn't do it. People do it and it works, and they get money from it, and they're successful. And everyone else who tries to like, no, I don't want to do that because it doesn't feel right. Well, some of them are still do great, and that's great, but some of them don't. Some of them will be like, oh, I'm here just to focus on what I think is right. They get like a quarter of a tenth of the money the other people get, you know? So sometimes, how can you argue with those people for doing what they need to do to make a living? You know?
I mean, if they're comfortable with it, I guess. Like, people have the different... I think I just don't like it. Like, if people are being blatant about it, then I'm okay. It's if people are trying to be, like, manipulative or taking advantage of vulnerable people.
Yeah, exactly. That part's not so... Yeah. I think I respect that more. Like, if people are open with it and like, hey, man, like I have always said, if someone wants to be like, hello, you know, if you join my Patreon, you get nude pics, yay, or whatever, like OnlyFans or whatever.
You heard it here first, everyone. Where's your link?
I'm working on it. I'm setting it up.
Okay.
But people who want to sort of hint at it and be maybe subtle about it, then maybe there'll be something. Maybe, you never know. I'm feeling wild sometimes, and that means you're just teasing people and pretending and being subtle about it, and like, oh no, I don't do it. You're trying to like eat your cake and have it too, type of thing, right?
Well, I think the big one
nude pictures is just a random example. It could literally be anything else.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, if you're open and clear about what people are getting and what you're getting from them exactly, then people at least can make the decision of their own, rather than being like manipulated into doing it, you know?
And the sort of thing where people will have like fake goals on streams. Fair enough if someone says like, I want to get a new computer. If people want to pay money towards it, that's grand. Thank you. That I'm fine with. But if someone's saying like, I've known of times where people have been like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. I really need help with this. And you know that it's not true. And you're like, whereas if they just
like,
said,
how can you just lie?
I just want a bit more money. Then fair enough, put it out there if you want.
Like,
why not?
You know, like I had my art streams, so they're like, all right, I want to get a PS5. Let's see if I can raise money for PS5. Bam, bam, bam. Like, completely open. That's what I'm gonna get. Turns out they're really fucking hard to find because they haven't made enough. But like that's an idea, and that money is like earmarked. That is going specifically to that, and that's right. And if someone's going to be like, oh yeah, like saving up money for travel to there, or like, oh, I don't do that. But when someone with like 4-digit plus subscribers is like, oh, I gotta raise money for rent, I'm like, what? What?
But it's
that's
also
not
the
a
fact
thing.
that some people genuinely do need help, and it takes away from them if other people who don't actually
exactly like a friend of mine is like raised money like, oh, you know, like rent and medical bills because they're American, and I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, that's medical bills in America is ridiculous, you know, and like, yeah, right. And you see that and like, all right, that's legit, like they could actually use some help here, and why is it's not a problem for them putting up a little meter to show like, this is roughly how much I want. If you want to give me, that's great.
Hansen just said, doubt us.
I mean, yeah, it was Daltos, but I didn't necessarily...
is pea stones. Always the pea stone.
Daltos is one of the unluckiest people I know. Oh man, I hope things go well for him, man. I really do. But yeah, for example, like that sort of thing, right? And that to me, I'm all for that. Like that's why it doesn't hurt anyone and is real and honest and bam. But then you just have other people who have already earned enough money to do whatever the hell they want. They put up another big goal and say like, well, this month I'm gonna need $5,000 for X. And it's like, you have 5 X's at home already, you know? Like, why are you doing this? It's because they have figured out that like, aha, you get more money if you put up R and gold, because people like seeing it filled up. This is a hell of a tangent. And it doesn't even have any easy answers anyway, so. No. I just want to say that people can stream and do content in a lot of different ways. I think the important thing is that you're open with what you do and you don't try to take advantage of people. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
And if Elon Musk is listening and wants to...
Yeah. That's always been my thing, right?
Get 2 more bunnies, then, you know,
that's always been my thing, right? Like, when you have a bunch of people and they are being very generous to you and you're like, this is really nice and really cool, but how about you guys save your money and instead convince 1 billionaire to give me much more money? And you guys can keep your money and have your own great life. Instead, someone who has immense amounts of money he won't even notice it missing can give me some. That sounds way better.
If we all get together and one of us kneels down behind Elon Musk and the other one pushes him,
you can steal his money from his wallet.
Because I assume he just carries it all around.
Yeah, that's what I assume too, right?
$1 million bills.
That's like, $1 billion. Yeah, that's weird. Don't get me started on millionaires and billionaires, though. Oh Jesus, that's another long rant.
Oh no, if someone does that,
Rythian's leftist socialists communist rant.
Evidence of us planning it. We should delete these buses.
That's probably for the best. What if someone does rob him? We'll be fucking suspects.
Oh no, we'll be the first suspects.
Yeah, this is dangerous. This is it at last. The final chapter. The final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching over me too. Partner. On your holiday. In Florida. It's got satellite imagery. Oh wait, no, it's in the 1900s or 1800s.
Telegram.
1900s, early 1900s. Telegram from Kasama-san. Says, good luck. Stop. Message from Kasuma-san. Stop. 17th April, 1:41 p.m. The Old Bailey courtroom. That's a random time to start. 1:41.
Yeah.
Usually they resume at an even time. I guess not. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestrade. Lord Van Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness?
The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem.
I see. Then I must ask why we bothered resuming already if the witness isn't here. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Gregson's presses of the case heard by the court this morning. Presses is spelled like precis in Swedish, which means precisely, or something like that. The glaring omission of the 3rd bullet in your report is a serious blunder, Inspector.
Yes, I can only apologize, my lord.
And although the defense's chemical analysis of the blood at the scene makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom. Ooh, that's not good.
Pee-pee-poo-poo.
That's not good.
That's not good. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake.
We have guns! We'll shoot you!
My lord, the subpoena witness has just arrived in the building.
Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Eggs Benedict. I didn't expect to be crossing paths with him again so soon. Certainly not like this. Are they still here? Wow, there's a lot of people on the stand. He has the same clothes on. I'm not surprised. Thank you for complying with the court subpoena at such short notice, sir. But of course, my lord. As an upstanding member of London society, it's my pleasure to oblige. Now, kindly state your name and occupation for the record. Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Ashley Graydon? Like Ash Gray, I guess?
Oh, I guess
It's
so.
kind of a normal name, although obviously Ash and Gray, I guess, but yeah.
I wanted something to do with eggs.
Yeah.
Mr. Graydon and I both work at London Central Communication Station.
Now, perhaps somebody would kindly explain what all this is about.
You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way here, I presume?
Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at the pawnbroker's on Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question.
That is the accusation indeed.
This really is beyond a joke, you know. Very well. Without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Under X.
Gladly, my lord. Gladly. Very dancing.
I don't trust him.
Nope. As soon as I saw him, it was like, aha, ultimate villain. Like the second I saw him. The accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of pawnbroking services from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation, even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene. Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence.
He is saying, can we just cut him and prove that he bleeds green? Stab the witness! Stab the witness!
Definitely how it works. So, you deny the accusation completely, do you? I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy.
It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld.
Then it would seem we have the misfortune of a most inept assembly of jurors today. By golly! How long am I expected to be detained here? If, following the defense's cross-examination, your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately. Good, and I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least.
Not if you insult the jurors. They're gonna...
No, they're gonna say no. You gotta be on the jury's good side. Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary. Counsel, proceed with cross-examination. So, we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon? My apologies, you are... Brinosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer. We have met. If you say so. Ashley Graydon, enchanté. So.
Free hat?
I trust we can conclude this quickly. But I'm not holding your fleshy hat while we do. The accusation. Naturally, I have occasion to make use of the pawnbroking services from time to time.
Hold it!
Yes, we even met in the very pawnbrokery where the crime took place on the afternoon of the day in question. Though, of course, you introduced yourself by a different name at the time. It was Mr. Eggert Benedict, I believe. Tell me, what made you...
The witness is here to testify about events that took place that night. He is under no obligation to answer such unrelated questions.
You can't be serious. Thank you, because I certainly do not feel inclined to answer such an inappropriate question. So he's going to be evasive, is he? In an effort to not give anything away. This could be tricky.
egg face if.
Egg face. If. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder?
Hold it!
Have you seen those two men before? This pair? No. I don't associate with criminals. I love these two, but they're so cool. Said by a man who introduced himself as Eggert Benedict. I'd like to know who I have to thank for this. Who made this outlandish accusation against me?
The young lawyer there in the black.
This is a farce. Whose idea was it to permit an outsider to work in British court anyway?
Oh, another racist.
They all are. Well, needless to say, I have no intention of admitting such an outrageous accusation.
Hold it!
Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour at which I would normally retire. Certainly, I was not in the company of these rapscallions. You're able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend. For you appear to be under a gross misapprehension on this point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence. If your accusation is that the witness was present at the scene, the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness.
It's dancing. A silent victory wiggle. Thanks.
I want a victory wiggle.
Me too. I used to initiate wiggle in Final Fantasy Tactics every time a new battle starts. The people in your party start walking on the spot, and I always like commence wiggle because they're like battle commence, and then you started wiggling because you walked in the spot. Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene.
Hold it!
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I am not the only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has a slightly different composition, it seems. Mrs. Sholmes' chemical is able to different... Spare me this science lesson. And also, there's not 6 billion colors available, is there? Well, he's got a point there. Who is this Sholmes character, anyway? Oh, I assumed all Londoners would know the name. He's a great, well, a renowned detective. Yes.
So, even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective.
A great detective, you say? Now we're in the realm of fairy tales, are we?
Oh,
Oh, hello.
Excuse me!
what's bothered him?
Maybe he's a fan of Sherlock. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin?
Hey, what? Me?
No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you.
Right, I've ended up to here with this. How many times have I got to tell you?
Yes, I know. You're not Big Bruv Sulky. Mr. Nash Skulkin. Hey, Cork Blimey, Governor. You what? Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that thought with the court? Hey, my thoughts? I don't have none of them. Must have been him.
You what?
Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke? Nothing. Honest, Gov, nothing. I was just thinking... If he waves his arm around like that much more, it'll open up the wound again, that's all.
Oh.
What wound? Where he took the bullet, of course. It was only 2 days ago. I ain't gonna be healed up yet. So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for him and... Oh, hell spells. Mr. Graydon, did you hear that? What? Your comrade is worried about you, it seems.
Oh,
On
look at
account
that
of your
smug-
injured arm. I love him when he's smug. My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon? I have no idea what these two wretches are talking about. Certainly, I shouldn't be expected to answer anything in relation to their mindless their mindless insinuations. We know that someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet at the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the hide in the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hit in the upper arm or thereabouts.
Oh.
Perhaps you'd allow a court official to examine your arm, sir.
Yes.
The left arm that you're currently clasping with your right hand, as if in pain. No, I refuse. You've shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. Accordingly, I am not obliged to permit any such invasion of my privacy.
It's okay. We'll examine Van Seeks afterwards to make it fair. Just to compare and contrast.
I see, of course. As I've already said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this. Never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow was killed whatsoever. I take offense at the insinuation that I was in any way involved. You claim to have had nothing whatsoever to do with Mr. Winterbank's pawnbrokery. My lord, the defense would like that last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony. Very well, counsel. Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon. The bottom line is, I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. Oh yeah? We probably have something to present that with. Never had anything to do with it. You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon, on the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study. Objection! No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, hello.
Oh, yeah, because he was there.
Exactly. Do you have something to add, Inspector?
Hey, come again, sunshine.
You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon.
Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbroker that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, and the accused were all present, as I recall.
And at that time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article.
Well now. I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
Oh, Gregson. What? But you must.
I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something that I don't.
What's going on here?
He's been bought.
He's been...
Yes.
He's being put pressure on by the Chief Justice, who Eggert has something on, maybe, or works with him or something.
Gregsy showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in Windybanks.
Yes, of course. Indeed, and the gentleman pictured bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say.
That's true.
Exactly. Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to peruse the articles on sale and have a word with the broker. Nothing more. Come on, Greg, son. This makes no sense. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all it's going to say on the matter, is it?
What do you think, Bruno?
I think he has no intention of telling us anything. He's well aware that the less he says, the less chance he has of giving himself away.
The complete opposite of Hurley, then. He seems to think that the more he says, the better.
Well, at least I managed to prise a little information from these witnesses' lips. Well, thanks to the Skulkin brothers.
Yes, they were the key to it after all.
So he says he had nothing to do with the Windibanks. Well, we know that's not true.
Perhaps now would be a good time to have a proper look through the court record.
Well, see, I'm thinking it'll be the, redemptions, right? Ah. Did we know any? Thank you. Big Rider Luck. Look, it's good to see your face, sir. You're a national treasure. Thank you very much. That's kind.
Oh.
But if I am, that means Nicolas Cage is coming to steal me away. I'm worried about that, honestly.
Oh, I'm so confused then. I was like, wait, what?
We've seen... Oh, no, this is new, actually. It's written very neatly, but still. Perhaps he ran out of paper, so he had to use anything he had to hand. It's hard to know what's the front and what's the reverse side now. Well, I mean... Wait. When you look at it closer, it looks way neater.
Yeah.
Also, the signature isn't...
Boo boo.
Alright.
Bum 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 bum.
It's the same photograph, but... Oh, it's the same text. This is a gentleman's overcoat, 15th February. And this is a small box, 13th February. And this is just a photograph, you know.
Just a photograph of a murdered man, nothing important.
Nope. And the music disc, and the bullet. Good idea. You never know, a tiny scrap of information could become a valuable weapon. Right. So I think we usually have to. Some Scaramouche Detective's homebrew tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. The bottom line is I've never had anything to do with the pawnbroking establishment where the man was killed. I think it has to be this one, right? And we present, I don't know, probably this one? But to be fair, there's no direct proof that he was involved.
Yeah.
But it might be worth presenting anyway. Because I can't think of anything specific beyond that. That would definitely be... Can we check this? Ooh.
I mean, can we...
This is the bullet that was fired from the Skulkin brothers' gun on the night of the incident.
Yes. So it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all.
Thanks to the thick leather of that pouch he was wearing. It saved him.
Hurley's always lucky like that.
Well,
I mean, Hurley's always lucky like that.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Considering what he had to go through in the hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was.
Oh dear, poor Hurley.
Poor Hurley. Is there anything special on this? I don't think so. I think it's all just the same.
That's true. The surgeon rummaged through his body and left a scalpel in there as well.
We've investigated this one too. I mean, I think it's this one maybe then. Because this is the one he came in with in the coat. Because the coat had this in it. Maybe.
Can we check his thumb?
His thumb? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how we would do that, but yeah.
Take his gloves off.
Yes. Please gloves.
Please to be taking gloves off.
What could it be then?
Do, 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 do.
I mean, we have this, but he's probably gonna disagree with this one, you know? Well, we can prove it anyway. Also, okay, that doesn't apparently count. Mr. Graydon, we have made a very careful analysis here. The music continued, which made me thought it was immediately wrong. It still might be wrong, but it's at least a unique response.
Yeah.
And among the blood samples in this portfolio is one that matches your blood exactly.
My learned friend is free to analyze the evidence in any way he sees fit. But the court is free to disregard the results.
Meaning?
As I have said many times already, this detective's plaything has no sway in the courtroom. And his lordship has ruled accordingly on the matter.
Right.
Oh.
This will not do, counsel. The jury will disregard this so-called evidence. Mr. Graydon, please continue with your testimony. Very well. He was definitely there at the scene that night. I just have to find another way of proving it.
Did we present the music disc?
No. But again, the only proof we have on that is the blood, right? We have it, but all we have is the notes from a gilded and the blood. I mean, I can try presenting it and see what happens, but...
Objection!
Oh, okay, yeah, apparently that's the one.
So,
Have
you
you
know,
ever
for like half an hour now, I felt like I'm going to sneeze, and I'm scared that it's going to happen any second. So just
Okay. I'm ready.
apologies if
I'm ready
I
for the
randomly
sneeze.
just yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Carry
ready.
on.
Why? Is this supposed to mean something? This disc was, until the day of his murder, in pawn at Mr. Windowank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon. However, somebody mysteriously appeared to try to take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I have reiterated numerous times by now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I have never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there is a small smear of blood on the disc. Ah, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps. That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. See, what I'm thinking is, eventually, I mean, I know we don't have, like, fingerprints or anything like that, but eventually, where's the thing? Where did it go? There.
It's like,
This
oh.
this is a bloody thumbprint right here, you know? Like
Yeah.
I want it to be like, oh,
oh, we want to be able to examine
it
that
was
one.
blood this stain, like we suspected. That's right. Here it is for an Briony?
Oh, that's right. Ali's wonderful concoction soon proved that.
I don't suppose Gina couldn't have been wearing leather gloves that night, could she?
Ginny would never wear gloves. She's a pickpocket. She relies on being able to feel things with her fingertips.
I could be wrong, but I think I'm being told off. Can we? I thought we were maybe be using the color thing on this to get to that as well. The same color. Was it green as well? There it was. Finally, the sneeze came. Bless you.
Honestly, been so long that I'm like, I can feel it. I can feel
Yeah,
it.
it's coming. In the words of my German brethren, Gesundheit. Which means health. Wow, a second one so shortly afterwards?
Oh.
That is usually the case, isn't it? You sneeze multiple times. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of this smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Oh, good gracious! Indeed it must. Mr. Graydon. You refused to allow a court officer to examine your arm before. Are you now going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with a smear of blood on this disc. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What? What's the meaning of this? So you admit it now. You admit you have a scratch on your thumb from when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant.
Oh.
Ora! Ora! Well, Mr. Graydon? It would appear there has been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc, as you put it. I know quite the reverse.
Oh,
What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset. Is there some crime in taking an item that you own at a pawn? What?
It would seem, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident. Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now.
As you wish. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. Smug, calm bastard. The disc. There's a note on the disc saying, "For McGilded," but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question. I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. That is true. If he was after the disc, he wouldn't go back to the pawnbrokers. Right?
Yes, but he's...
But I mean, he might have been after something else, of course, or reason. But he was specifically after the disc. The police took that, so that's where he would have gone to. Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist? Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder? And then Van Zieks decided to finish him off with a ghastly fire used by his magical vampire powers that he spawned? He cast the 3rd level spell Fireball here in this very courtroom, murdering McGilded, laughing the entire time as a truly evil man that he is.
I mean, he's got flaws, but...
A lot of flaws. Yes, my lord, the one and the same. Good lord, Mr. Graydon, are you saying that Mr. McGilded and yourself are acquainted? Yes, that's correct.
Mutter, 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 mutter.
Big mutters. Oda! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again. According to what Gina told us, this disc was placed in pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it to the Winterbanks.
It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him then, isn't it?
In all likelihood, he's lying.
Yes.
So he appeared that afternoon at Winterbanks in order to get his hands on McGilded's disc for some reason. Probably owes him a lot of money.
Yeah.
Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please. The disc. There's a note on the disc saying "For McGilded," but the item belongs to me.
Hold it!
Would you care to explain how this belongs to you? As you will observe, a communications officer such as myself commands a fine salary. You are certainly exquisitely dressed, sir. So you see, I have little need to make use of the services provided by the pawnbrokery trade. However, I did once find myself in difficulties having misplaced my purse whilst on an errand, which is why I pawned my fine black overcoat to the broker in question. You claim that was your overcoat. Obviously. And in my haste, I clean forgot. that the music box disc was in its pocket.
And yet there is a note on it that reads "Former Gilded."
I am a collector of rare and unusual music box music. I first met Mr. McGilded at a gentleman's club in the city and was interested to discover that he shared my penchant in that area. Penchant. So the disc in question, it is a pre-production sample. I promised to let Mr. McGilded hear it.
But then you forgot it was in the pocket of the overcoat you were forced to pawn.
Yes, exactly.
Gina didn't mention any of that in her testimony 2 months ago, did she?
No, because Mr. McGilded had threatened her to keep her mouth shut. Which means that if we dig too deeply here, it's going to expose Gina's perjury.
Oh, but...
That's not good.
This is complicated, isn't it?
Because, well, I mean, it's still better to get her free from murder and accused of perjury. It's not great, but it's better. Let's leave it alone for time being. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question.
Hold it!
So you're saying that Miss Lestrade lifted the ticket from your pocket or bag? That's right. Despite being mindful of danger when walking in the insalubrious areas of that her kind frequents.
Objection!
Miss Lestrade did no such thing. Well, of course you would take that stance, but the girl is a regular offender. You came to the pawnbroker that day prepared with all the information you needed to identify the defendant. You were looking for her. That's what brought you to Windybanks. To get your hand on Mr. McGilded's disc.
Objection!
My learned friend is a veritable font of nonsense.
Nonsense? I concur with the prosecution. Counsel, you will refrain from conjecturing in this way. Is that clear? Yes, my lord. Then I will continue with my testimony. For what possible use can it be? I proceeded at once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article.
Hold it!
Had you ever been to Windybanks before? Only once, for the purposes of pawning something. But like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments.
So, when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after her. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right. I didn't notice it at first, of course. Such is the art of the pickpurse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbroker at once, in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover what was rightfully mine in the first place. He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this.
A poopy head.
Yeah. He's got a hell of a defense running. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police.
Hold it!
Hold it!
Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was the very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGilded. That's evidence.
Is that right? That's my job.
Is that right? Yeah. Is something wrong, Inspector?
What do you mean?
The last remark Mr. Graydon made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way.
Hey? No, it didn't. It's nothing. Leave it alone.
Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilded's possessions?
I can't tell you something like that, Sunshine. What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets? Yes, exactly. You should know all about that. Magnus McGilded, who died so... unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago.
I wonder how he happened to die. He must have felt so sad when he died to the fire. So sadly. Oh boy.
Very unexpected.
Yes.
A man renowned throughout the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet he had a dark side too.
A dark side. I decided to light up with fire.
Where are you going with this, Van Zieks? I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they? That's enough. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know. Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume.
There we go. I knew he was going to be involved.
The Lord Chief Justice appears to have great faith in you, Inspector. Oh, his poor chips are so squeezed.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart.
Long,
Lord
strong song.
Paw print first.
Long, strong hung.
Long Strong.
What's all this about?
I don't know. The sexual tension is palpable.
Why is it always about sex with you, Briony? Ugh. Keep it in your pants, lady.
It's that Gregson Van Zieks chip that I hear so much about.
Yes, very popular, that one.
It's like
And
Lady
this
in the
is-
Tramp, but it's a bag of chips.
It will eat from two sides, and then the cheeks meet.
One really long chip.
It's like there's something going on between Gregson and Lord Van Zieks here.
Yeah, I was trying
not,
to say it.
but not like that. You see, I mean in a different way. Get your mind out of the gutter is what I'm saying. Well, it would appear that the inspector has revealed all he is at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony. Gosh, I was hoping we'd get something from that. We got some information, but... Gladly, my lord.
They're just teasing information.
Yeah. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night.
Hold it!
But perhaps you'd seen something of value among the forfeited items. No, not at all. Oh.
Oh.
It's very simple. But what about that? No. Shit.
Oh. A valuer was brought in by the police to assess everything in the shop. Without exception, every article on the shelf is common or garden bric-a-brac.
In that case, it's clear that you broke into the shop later that day in order to recover Mr. McGilded's disc. Have you not been listening, man? Even if I had wanted to recover that disc, you may recall that it had been seized by the police that afternoon. It was no more in that shop that night than I, as I keep saying, I simply had no reason to break in. So there was nothing of McGilded's left in the shop that night. Nothing this man might have been after. I wonder if that's really true.
What about a music player to actually play the disc when he got it? Or something, I don't know.
Well, maybe, yeah, because remember how Sholmes had to buy every single type of music disc?
Yeah.
You know, so he could play it with his caramel copy.
Bruno, if you have some evidence, then let him have it. I'm dying to see that irritatingly assured expression of his crumble.
Right, well, do we have evidence?
I don't think you do.
McGilded slipped the disc into his coat pocket and had it deposited at Windibanks. Then, when he realized he was going to be arrested on suspicion of the omnibus murder, he threatened Gina and forced her to take the redemption ticket.
There's no doubt about it. That witness is lying through his pearly white teeth.
The police were obviously after anything left behind by McGilded as well. That's why Inspector Gregson ended up taking the disc into custody that day.
But he's being very strange about all this.
There must be a reason for that, I'm sure. I just don't know what it is. For now, I need to focus on exposing the fact that Mr. Graydon is lying in his testimony.
But...
And I think it's the last one. You had no reason. Well, what about...
The reason you had.
Yes! What
Did you
about
think
your
about
reason? Wait. Government secrets being leaked to foreign agencies. Guess who leaked them? Mr. Government Worker Eggs Benedict! Which is definitely his name. What reason did he have? Because we don't have... Huh.
What about the how did we get both of the guns? One is Thingamabob's gun, Windy Bank.
Yeah.
The other
And
one.
the other is the Skulkin's gun.
Oh, of course. That's...
And they fired around that went through homes, right?
Yeah.
And this where are the bullets? One bullet is in Windenbank, one bullet is in the side of the door.
Calendar, and then one is the one that was found in his pouch.
Yes, that's the third bullet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Third bullet, yeah. But what reason did Graydon have for getting into the shop?
The manuscript.
Would he be? I mean, I'm waiting for that one to come into play, but
Yeah.
you know.
I don't know.
Whoops, wrong one. I mean, what about the box? This is another one, right?
Whose was this one? Is this? Oh, maybe, yeah, because wasn't that meant to be McGilded's?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. It's worth a shot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
This disc was deposited at Windybanks on Magnus McGilded's instructions. You knew that, and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself.
Objection.
Oh. Conjecture again. And in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon.
Yeah, but there was another thing in that box, which was the box and not the disc.
Yes.
Or rather, it was the box and not the coat, which happened to have the disc.
The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbrokery again that night.
Objection.
He did. Forehead.
What a random... He did forehead. What? Sorry, my learned friend, but that's not true. Oh,
Sass.
the sass.
What?
You're gonna get sassed at, Van Sucks. Ah, got him. Mr. McGilded had another article in pawn at Windybanks, as this second pawnbroker's ticket proves. Ah. There were two articles belonging to Mr. McGilded in Windybank's pawnbrokery, and the reason you broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your two accomplices, the Skulkin brothers. Ah.
Wow.
This is the second ticket, is it?
What had the man deposited?
The article description reads, one small box. Or rather, vague description, it seems to me. Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbroker with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box? I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? Once the article has been forfeited, I can simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There would be absolutely no need for me to resort to theft. That's a good point. Indeed. The witness makes a solid argument.
So that means for some reason, this Graydon fellow needed the small box that very night, does it?
Objection!
Don't shout at Iris.
I know.
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord.
Could you be a little bit less cryptic, Lord Van Sucks?
I'm going to set fire to everyone again. I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windybank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it. Uh-oh.
What? Good gracious.
Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court, if you please. Yes, sir.
What prints?
These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras. Ah, Hurley's red-handed recorders again. As previously explained, using this plan of the shop layout...
So, we are fine using these detectives' toys, but we're not fine using the colored blood one.
Yeah. The victim's establishment was furnished with an automatic camera in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter where Mr. Windybank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which articles were placed for sale once forfeited. According to the information on this ticket, Mr. McGilded's small box had been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident at 9 PM on the 13th of April to be precise. Which means it would have been on the shelves of forfeited items in the shop front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's at 11 PM on the 15th of April. Oh, we're going to get to 3D this again.
I hope so. The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear. I mean, I saw the small box in the middle of that print, so... It's like it's right there.
And this one was taken about 2 hours after the incident.
I see. So we have 2 pictures to compare. Oh, here we go again.
No, there's going to be something.
Oh, this is hard.
Oh, something's moved. This box here.
Yeah, that's further to the
Moved
left.
over.
Yeah. I guess you don't have to do the stereoscopic. You could just play spot the difference, you know?
Spot the difference, yes. I think that's the only thing I can see. Though.
Yeah, same. It's only that small box which has moved. Though I must say that placing them side by side leaves me cold. Cold?
If you could only have it set so that it was taking photos every half an hour, wouldn't you stagger them? So
Absolutely,
then
yeah.
It's covering 15-minute gaps instead of
At the
both
very
at
least,
same
yeah.
time.
Particularly if you're seeing... I guess they are, for some reason, seeing entirely different parts of the store. Even though it looks like they should overlap a bit. Dear me, that's starting to make my headache.
Obviously, at Scotland Yard, we considered theft as one of the possible motives in this case. We explored the possibility that someone had been taken in addition to the victim's life.
So your men have already compared these 2 prints thoroughly, Inspector.
Yes, sir. We counted every single atom in these 2 photographic prints.
Sorry, I'm trying to do the eye thing. I can't really get it to work as well as I've done the other times for some reason. Okay, yeah. It's the box. The box is the only thing I can notice while doing this little trick. It's all blurry and stuff because it's in 2. All the other everything else is sorted out. Oh, that's weird. Right.
And the Yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present in both.
But it is a box, though. So it could have been opened, something taken, and then placed back slightly to the side.
That's true.
Yeah. So while the box itself might have been taken, whatever was inside it might have been.
Yeah. In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbrokery on the night in question. And my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy.
Speaking of fantasy, have you heard, or are you preparing to watch, or are you at all interested in the Wheel of Time TV show?
Oh, I've never read it.
Yeah.
Alex tried to read it and gave up many years ago. His sister loves it too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't really know anything about it other than it's difficult to read, apparently.
It's the first book is very run-of-the-mill fantasy for the most part. It kind of just feels like Lord of the Rings, but Gandalf is a lady instead, you know? We live in a sleepy old village. Here comes a weird wizard, tells us that, oh, it's very dangerous and we must all leave the town, and we go on adventure to fight the Dark One, you know? And like, oh, okay. There's enough there to get a little bit into the characters, and then there's enough hints to prove that, like, all right, there's something to the story. But it really takes a book or 2 after that before it starts getting really good. And then there's some amazing bits like around book 4, 5, and 6, you know, are really good. And then there's 8 more books after that. And it really didn't need to be 8 more books after that. It ends with a total of 14 books, and that's a lot of books, and there's a ton of wasted time in between. Oh boy, it's a hella slow. But overall, I like it. It's not like top tier. It wouldn't go on like a massive big list or anything. I'm mostly worried about the show because the show has to start with the first book. And I don't think the show is going to stand out enough for people. Amazon has definitely thrown a lot of marketing in. It's being spammed everywhere. And I just feel like people are going to watch and go like, yeah, this is a pretty standard fantasy show. It's all right, I guess. And then there's not going to be like enough enthusiasm for it to stick with it. Like the reason Game of Thrones worked is because like it starts with tits, incest, child murder, like episode 1, you know? Everyone's like, what the fuck? And it's like, oh, HBO. Oh, damn. Okay, something weird. This is not your standard fantasy, you know? And then first season had so many twists and turns and deaths and things that people got really into it immediately. And it sort of back and front loaded its crazy fantasy parts. Like, yes, there were dragon eggs and, well, not dragon. They were like eggs. Well, it might be dragons. And in the beginning, there were zombies. But that's it. The rest was like political intrigue and stuff. And everyone's like, hey, Sean Bond, I like that guy, and that sort of thing.
He's definitely going to survive.
Yeah, exactly. And so people got interested in that because of that. But even then, it took like season 2 or 3 for Game of Thrones to become a runaway massive success. So for Wheel of Time, I feel like season 1 is probably gonna be fine. It's probably gonna be okay. But even I think for people who really like the book, even they agree that like the first season, the first book, not that exciting. So it's gonna be hard for this one to stick around. It has
I
already
mean, they
been.
might
It's already
do.
been renewed for season 2, at least. So that is something. But yeah,
I obviously this is me saying this with no knowledge of the story
yeah.
whatsoever. But did you ever watch His Dark Materials?
I never watched the show, but I
'Cause
watched the movie.
the first series of the show of His Dark Materials
Mhm.
combined like things that happen in the second book.
I think we talked about
Happen,
this. You mentioned how
like
they brought in bits
yeah,
from book 2 into season 1. Yeah,
like alongside it. So I wonder
yeah,
if they might do that if that's the case of like having
yeah,
it. Don't know.
yeah. Also, and I can already feel this is coming into a hell of a tangent because I have more to say. So, Wheel of Times is very focused on gender in a way, right? Because when Robert Jordan wrote the book, he remembered, like his inspiration was an older story about a character in another book that was a girl who had magic, and everyone freaked out, like, "Oh my god, this girl has magic!" Right? They thought that was weird, and then he
Yeah.
was like, what if in my book everyone is really freaked out about a guy having magic? That is super weird and strange, you know? And
Yeah.
so in Wheel of Time, there is like the one power, which is magic, right? And it is split in two halves, Sidon and Sidar. And Sidon is for men and Sidar is for women, right? And so they cast magic and so on and so on. But the entire point is that long ago, ages ago, like the Dark One, the Devil, or whatever, like the evil bad guy, like infected the male half of magic, of Sidon, so that any male magic user eventually becomes evil / mad / crazy and causes like catastrophe and calamity because they have magic and they can do all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And bad things happen. So generally, any male magic user gets hunted down and killed, or like silenced and muted, so they can't cast spells and so on, because it's too dangerous, because they go mad because of what the devil did to the male half of magic, right? So and
Yeah.
so then a lot of the world is like run by the women, because they have magic and they have this whole thing where they swear oaths that they have to follow, so they can't do evil magic and so on. All right. Now this is and this is like the cornerstone of the story, where like, oh shit, like one of the like there's a possibility that a male casting magic is coming along again. So this is
Yeah.
an interesting story, and it's very focused on this idea of male and female. But if you try to tell a story like that in 2021, you come into the issue of transgender people, or intersex people, or non-binary people. How do you tell that story in the same way and not change a ton of it, when the entire story, in many ways, is based around this clear divide of male and female, which is a very binary divide, and how magic works? Because you want to write a story that has proper representation and diversity, and doesn't like say like, oh, these people don't exist, or they're not, see, that person is not a real man because they use the female side of the force, or whatever, you know, like you don't want that either. But on the other hand, that is a huge part of what the story is about. And there is a moment later on where a male magic user gets reincarnated as a woman and can still use male magic, and it's like, whoa, this is weird and so on. But if you had previously made the world with that already being an option, that all of a sudden that becomes a thing. So if you want to try to now make, like, these books were like written in the 90s or whatever they were, I can't remember the exact dates. They were written in a different world where like transgender and sexual identity and gender identity and like wasn't really a thing. I mean, it was, but it was people didn't really talk about it, and it wasn't really open in culture. So it was written that way. And so how far do you rewrite the story? Particularly if the story has if you implement such an issue, it will have massive rippling effects. That I find a really interesting idea, of trying to adapt something that is written long ago and try to adjust it to current sensibilities, because I don't, and it's not like, oh, we gotta SJW it up, but if you want a show in 2021 to have part of that happen, how much do you change?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because
Yeah,
there's obviously going to be, the diehard fans
yeah,
complaining.
yeah. And I mean,
Change
and the
anything.
thing is, I think a lot of those people who are like diehard fans or whatever, I don't think they are necessarily like in any way necessarily like opposed to transgender people or want to like stop them from being represented or are like anti-diversity, but they are might be like, well, this is the story, I want to see, and changing everything about it will make it worse. And I have a perfect example for that. Why the Last Man, the show that came along recently. You might have heard of it, I don't know.
No.
It's about so the world happens, and then all of a sudden every man dies. Like every man dies in the world. All men just die. Except one guy, and also his monkey, which is a thing. But one guy remains. His name is Yorick, and he's the Y. And it's like, oh, okay, I get it, Y chromosome. And he's the one that's alive and so on. And so then that was the comics, right? And in that comics, then he goes around and it's like, he has to stay hidden because people will see him and he looks like a guy and like, what the hell? And, it's power that he exists, becomes a political thing, or like people have a religious thing about it. And some people want to kill him because they believe like the age of men is over. And so it's a whole thing, right? And in the comics, the transgender people were like almost like a footnote. It was mentioned briefly, but wasn't really a huge deal. But now when they made a show about it in 2021, they were like, okay, this is actually an important part of the story. Like transgender people is important and should be a major part of the story. And like that is cool and a good idea. And I think it almost something you have to do. If you're telling a story that is so heavily focused on specifically gender, then having transgender be part of it is usually they introduce like a whole new character, a trans man, who's a major character in the show and so on. But it kind of has this side effect then of making it seem very weird, because whenever people see the trans man character, they're like, okay, I get it. I get what's going here. I don't need to worry. But then when they see Yorick, for some reason, then they're, I know that person was born a male, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
Aha! And now that's super important, and that changes everything. Well, it's like, well, there are plenty of other men around. They happen to be trans men, but you have made it clear that there are still plenty of men around in this world. So now, having one man that happened to be born a man is not as special anymore, and it kind of changes the entire story. And a lot of the things that hit very well in the first one didn't really work very well in the show, and the show has been cancelled, sadly. Well, I don't know about sadly, because I liked the early bits, but then it kind of just spiraled into control. They made a whole huge politics storyline about Republicans versus Democrats. It was weird and dumb, but anyway. But it was like an example of like when an effort to improve a show by making it more diverse and representative, which I am all for, which I think is generally a good thing to do. But when you have good reasons for doing so, and you feel like this will make the show better, the problem was, back when it was written, it kind of only worked if you kind of pretended transgender people didn't exist. And you could say, well, then it was a shit story. Well, I mean, arguably, maybe it was, but it was a good story. It worked, and it was good. It didn't represent reality as it was, but then again, it was also about a apocalypse. So I don't know.
I always wonder when things like this happen, like how much did they consult relevant people?
Yeah, apparently there were at least for Why the Last Man, a sizable or at least like. High up in power people were trans people who were making the decisions and writing and so on. For that one, at the very least. I don't know how it is for the other stuff, but I also wonder the same often, because often it can feel like there are some people in charge and be like, well, I mean, we got to make sure we don't get cancelled. We got to make sure we put in this and fill the check marks and so on. And that's not something you want to see. Because the thing is, I've seen in discussion thread about Wheel of Time, right? I've seen people on both sides of it, like trans people or whatever, who's been like, yeah, I mean, this is definitely a change you should make. This is a show in 2021, and it would be bad to have a show that so very clearly has it binary, because that's not how it is in our world. And then some people's like, well, I mean, I'm trans, and I want the story to be told as it is. That's the story I want to hear, and it doesn't really matter that, like, it works like it is. Like, it's a fantasy show with fantasy things. It doesn't really have to specifically be how it is in our world, because it is a fantasy world. It doesn't have to necessarily reflect reality. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, how do you want your show to be? Do you want it to make sure that you're in it? I mean, or a person like you is in it? I mean, you probably do, but maybe also not necessarily. I don't know.
The one I get hung up on, which is ridiculous, but the one I get hung up on is whenever there's a post-apocalyptic thing, and people are still shaving their legs. And I'm like, that go out the window day one.
I mean, I can see that. But on the other hand, like, why do people shave their legs now? Well, they want to feel pretty, right? Or they want to look pretty and feel pretty, in theory, right?
Run quicker.
Well, I mean, maybe. The thing is, I don't think all of that necessarily goes away immediately. Like, yes, in the immediate aftermath, no one's gonna give a shit about, like, oh yeah, I wanna smell good, I wanna look good, I wanna make sure my lipstick is. No. But at a certain point later on, people are still people. People still want to look good. People still want to be attractive, you know? I think for the most part, you're right. And particularly depending on how shortly after the post-apocalypse. But at a certain point ever, like, people are still people.
Like 2 days after the apocalypse, I'd be like a Yeti.
Yeah. Yeah.
It reminds me of I'm gonna send you a comic.
Yeah.
That it makes me think of.
Yeah, I've seen that. Not that natural. Yeah. Well, it's the thing where, like, when guys talk about women and makeup, right? They go like, I don't want them to have lots of makeup on. I prefer them when they look natural. And they're like, okay, no makeup. It's like, wow, you look sick. Are you tired? Are you having a bad day? Oh, look at your bags on your eyes. You look horrible. Are you feeling all right? It's like, no. What you like is a certain amount of makeup, which can still be a lot, just made to look more baseline. But yeah, it's not that.
Poor Bruno has had his head on the desk this entire time.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with the rest of the court. It was just like letting him take his time.
Is he okay?
Yeah. Anyway, long tangent aside, but I was just thinking about it in terms of how a good impulse to make a show better for more people and make more people feel welcome can end up having ripple effects. That means the story gets worse, and therefore less people will enjoy it, which is a shame. Yeah. It's hard sometimes. It's hard making stories. Anyway. If I could have just shown that he'd stolen McGilda's pawn box, I might have been able to break him down at last.
You know what, Bruno? I've been thinking. I wonder if these two photographs really are exactly the same.
What? Are you saying that, like we've done 4 times already, we should check? So, counsel, in the light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that, in fact, on the night in question, nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion? Don't know. Could there be some hidden discrepancy in these 2 photographic prints somewhere? Point out the discrepancy.
Bum, bum, bum.
I wasn't sure at first, but there is a clear discrepancy between these two prints.
What?
You must identify the location in question for the court, counsel. Indicate the precise location of the discrepancy of which you speak. There we go. Right here. Present.
Take that!
Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there is one minor discrepancy between them.
What?
Everyone's saying what? When you view the two pictures stereoscopically... Da 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 da! Wow, that's a high quality zoom in. Enhance! Enhance! Zoom. A single area stands out as being different. The location of this small box.
Let me... Wait. Unbelievable.
You still... No! By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary. What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilden's small box was indeed not stolen from Windibanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to its place on the shelves. Are you suggesting that the small box originally deposited by Mr. McGilden is in fact... Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those photographic prints.
Mindless guesswork. What if it was? So a box was moved on the shelf. Nothing was stolen. Which means, quite simply, that nothing has changed.
That may be true, but... Alright, McGillen's box wasn't stolen then. But doesn't the fact that it was moved like that change things? It
Yes,
changes
it changes
everything!
Like a universal remote control.
Indeed. I believe this changes everything about the case.
How can that possibly be?
The crucial point is the fact that what was moved was a small box. In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible. A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves at Windibanks as we speak.
Objection!
That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial.
This court does not uphold your objection, Lord Renzieks. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once. Or in other words, overruled.
Yes.
Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination.
Mutter, 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 mutter.
We were told we should start a podcast at some point. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah. We would get more done in our games if we had a podcast to talk about stuff. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while until the evidence is brought forth.
To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Humph. Disappointing.
Do you think he plays Dota? Because it's a hero
What,
called
Lord
Hoodwink.
Fancy?
Yeah. Maybe he plays Hoodwink.
Maybe.
Probably not. I beg your pardon, Lord Renzieks.
This is nothing but a smokescreen, a Nipponese speciality, it would seem.
What are you trying to say?
Something racist. I haven't decided. I'm just trying to be
I'm
me.
just bringing it up, and then we'll hone
Taking
in
it
the
out on
exact.
you.
We'll bring in the exact racist insult later. This is just preparatory work.
My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. Same line of reasoning. He's the defense. That's what he has to do.
Yeah.
Defend the people.
Yeah. Goddamn.
That this witness Intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilded from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles have value enough to be worth stealing in the first place.
Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. Oh, here we go. Smash the glass.
Do you reckon crush or into the light fitting?
Into the lights.
Okay, I'll go crushed.
Okay.
If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilded perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of this trial.
Through suspicious and unknown circumstances.
A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial in which it was established he was the upstanding member of society his reputation implied, in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend and his most insightful defense.
The articles this upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of its pockets, and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me. You know, that does make rather a lot of sense.
Not as if it was gold or jewels, though, is it? My goodness knows, Mr. McGilded was rich
You
enough.
can't trust a district pawnbroker, I'm quite certain of that. The prosecution's argument is undeniably compelling.
It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument.
Yay! I win!
To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by this fine citizen could have.
Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstrable? Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any way tangible related to this case? Well,
What's the matter, Bruno? We know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence.
yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGilded's true character, and we know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that Mr. McGilded's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information.
Oh no!
And that would mean admitting that Gina committed perjury.
Oh, poo. But Ginny...
Could it be that Van Zieks knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything.
But maybe... this could be a great opportunity for us.
Sorry? What do you mean, Iris?
Well, what is it that you always say, Bruno? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time.
Alright. The exact significance of the things that McGilded deposited with Mr. Windbank. Something that only Gina can explain to the court. But if I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case. What's the right thing to do here? Oh, I didn't mean to, but yes, that is what I was going to say anyway. Again, the point is here to find out truth. Like, if she did perform perjury, then she did perform perjury. Like, and that's... or commit, rather than perform. And then maybe she does have to go to a little bit of jail for that, which would suck for her.
A little bit of jail.
But it's fair. And it's more important that we get, you know, that she doesn't go down for murder.
Yeah.
Our job here is to get to defend our client, but mostly to reveal the truth. My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. Oh? What proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilded's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. Defendant? To what end? It is to do with the various articles deposited at the window banks from Mr. McGilded, my lord. Mr. Lestrade has information relating to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. It will prove the significance of the articles in question, once and for all.
Well, well. Things are becoming interesting. I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing? Proposing? In particular, the impact it will have on the accused standing, and indeed your own.
I have. Lord Van Zeeks, would you care to explain that last remark?
No. The prosecution accepts the defense's proposal.
I would care not. In fact, I would not care.
No, I will not do it. I move to interrupt the cross-examination of the current witness and hear from the accused herself.
Very well, if you have no objection. So, the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade. Your witnesses currently in the stand may step down until further notice. Then I shall bid you good day.
Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Miss Lestrade testifies.
As you wish.
Don't say that line.
Well, as you wish.
Yeah.
Why? Because the Princess Bride?
Doesn't deserve to say that line.
Only good people can say it.
Yeah.
All right, then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here.
Good luck, Bruno.
Dot, 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 dot.
Boop, 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 boop.
The articles that Mr. McGilded had deposited in Winnebank's pawnbroker. I feel like I've said that exact sequence of words so many times now. Are intimately related with the omnibus case, the trial of which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. And that's right, my lord. Her testimony helped to establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded.
The omnibus case was intriguing, to say the least. And now here we are all again. The same players in that trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend.
Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged. The murder in fact took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck, with the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Miss Lestrade whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Miss Lestrade was concealed under a seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilded died in this very courtroom, in the most extraordinary of circumstances.
Very extraordinary. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on. As indeed does the omnibus murder itself.
I made sure to wipe my tracks. None will ever know it was me. None of you heard that. Be that as it may. Oh, be that as it may. I recall neither the disc nor this small box being mentioned in the course of those proceedings. Miss Lestrade? Would you tell the court now, please? What really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean.
I don't know what you mean. I already said all of what I know.
And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please, Miss Lestrade. This is extremely important.
But... remember, little girl. If it transpires that you willfully withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute you for perjury. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts. You have little credibility to lose.
Burn.
Ginny, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Runo now. Iris? We're on your side. All right then. I'll talk.
It's the right choice, Gina.
Well, it would seem that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it.
Well, you burned it. I'll bring it down. Or both be destroyers. I must confess that I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilded's pawned articles in that extraordinary case of the omnibus harbor secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Miss Lestrade, you will now give testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements. This is it then. Everything's going to come out. Like Van Ziek said, this could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears. But as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk.
Pew pew.
The real truth of the omnibus case.
Truth is, that brickmaker cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor. And all of a sudden I heard a scream from over me head, and that pair on the roof deck went to call the slops. Slops?
Went off to call the slops.
Slops.
Is that the cops? The slops?
I guess so. Slops. That's when Mr. McGilded slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop round the corner, roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Good grief, this is outrageous. We was told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago.
As you say, my lord.
Then there's every chance I may have adjudicated an error in McGilded's trial. Sounds very much to me as if the man deliberately deceived this court in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes.
It's okay, I already murdered him, don't worry. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. The actions of the accused in that trial of this witness and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable.
I don't believe it.
The whole trial was a farce.
It was all lies? The McGilded fellow was rotten to the core. They were all in on it together.
We're from the east. No! You're wrong, the lot of you. Mr. Narodo, the lawyer there, he didn't know nothing about it.
Humbug!
I don't think so. We're all really expected to believe that. He really stitched everyone up, didn't he? What an operation to get that man off scot-free. And unforgivable. Stop. The lies have to stop. Stop.
The lights have to stop. Stop. How complicated will it be in a Telegram thing when you say stop at the end of a sentence? You know? We're all gonna have to go stop. Stop.
Stop.
We're gonna have to go where? Well, we're all as a group are gonna have to go stop. We're gonna have to go. Where we're gonna have to go? No. Like, yeah. It's like saying, like, well, I think the movie is over. The movie is what? Over? Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it is imperative that the court allows the witness to elaborate on her testimony. Because the true significance of Mr. McGilden's pawned articles... Oh my god! The amount of times I've had to say Mr. McGilden's pawned articles in this case must be brought to light. ...
Very well. My learned student friend. Oh. He's demoted you.
Yeah, I'm just a student now.
Given the depths of the calamity you've just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing. Boop.
Words fail me. This situation is utterly deplorable. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. Of course, my lord. What? Why? It's not the lawyer's fault that they were tricked, and just because you successfully get your client off and it turns out they were they were guilty, that doesn't mean you're a horrible person and you are a criminal. What did he actually do wrong? Like from nothing, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Like the witness lied under oath. That's something wrong. McGilden was a murderer. That's something wrong. But he did his job. He didn't deliberately know that the witness was lying. So he didn't assist in the perjury. He just did his job to get this man freed, really. As long as he didn't lie, which he didn't. So.
Blimey, Mr. Naruhodo.
Now, counsel, proceed with the cross-examination. The real truth of the omnibus case.
Truth is, that brickmaker cove was in the cabin of the omnibus the whole time.
And you were hiding in the cabin at the time as well, weren't you, Mr. Stroud? If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of the seats.
Yeah, that's right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all. What
What is this going on right here? I thought I saw something strange. You gotta look at this. Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claim Miss McGilden was the sole passenger, did you not?
False testimony, my lord. That's what he told me I had to say.
But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGilden and the victim acquaintances?
I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot.
What were they talking about?
Well, I couldn't hear too well, but if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. They kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business dealings of some kind.
Well, anyway, they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. I was pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe, and then, all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone keeling over on the floor. It was blooming loud and all.
And I believe you let out an involuntary scream.
Yeah. That's what gave me away. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw that disc on the floor.
Was the disc you saw this disc?
Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove lying on the floor.
Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I don't know, but McGilda picked it up pretty smartish. And then he sat at the cove with the knife in his belly up on the seat.
What did he say to you at that time?
He told me not to say a word about what I'd seen or read to no one. About the disc and all. I was dead scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, I'll get stuck with that knife too. Then he started asking me a load of questions. Like, what my name was and where I lived and that. He asked me about being a diver too.
But after a while, what had happened in the carriage was noticed.
Yeah, that's right. First there was a kind of rapping noise.
You know, like Eminem doing a rap. Just feels so empty without me. You've heard it before, yeah.
All of a sudden I heard a scream from over my head and that pair on the roof deck went off to call the slops.
Hold it!
There were two gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe. Yeah, it was the Hatter guy and the banker guy.
Yeah. That's right. Lady first.
Yeah. What a weird name. And he was... I can't remember his name. Robert something?
Bruce? Was he Australian?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was Australian. Let's go Bruce.
Fairbanks?
Fair play, I think. Bruce Fairplay.
They must have looked down through the skylight and noticed the cove with the knife in his guts. When they screamed, the driver pulled up the horses and McGildy got me out of sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Back under the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the two ghosts on the roof ran off to fetch the slops. If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear that they were entirely unrelated to the incident.
I mean, Alex did it for me, but yeah. So that left McGilded, the driver, and you still at the scene.
Yeah, only the driver didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cabin door open and a voice from outside.
The driver, yes. He also testified in the trial, I believe. Yeah, it was the cold man. Who was still cold inside for some reason. A fellow who went by the name of Beppo, if memory serves. That means Alex has to voice the judge now? Yeah. Get him in here. What did McGilded and the driver say to each other?
I don't know what happened and stuff like that mainly. That's when McGilda slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop roundabout.
Hold it!
That pawn shop obviously being Windibanks on Baker Street. Just a moment, counsel. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony at that trial as well? Yahaha! Thank you, Mr. Kernel. We're subscribing. With Twitch Prime.
Oh, any primers?
Is primers in chat? I recently swapped from Prime Video to full Prime. Because they finally opened, this was like a couple of months ago, if not more, they finally opened an Amazon in Sweden. So I can now have, like, there's a reason to have Amazon Prime for deliveries and stuff. Before that, I only had, like, Amazon Prime Video, which still gave me the free sub and stuff. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm waiting for delivery today. That should have been here, but it hasn't come here yet. So we'll see whenever that shows up.
Perhaps the excursion to the pawnbrokery slipped his mind when he was in the stand.
Indeed, Lord Van Seeks.
McGilded took his coat off and gave it to the driver. He folded it up all careful-like before handing it over. When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, that coat and what's in that's got to be worth a few bob.
Yes, Gina was sure the disc must be worth more than Mr. Windebank was suggesting, wasn't she? I remember her quibbling with him over the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery.
The driver looked pretty happy when McGilded flashed some brass in his face. He went
Oops.
running off. Oh, it's a boo-boo. Running off at a lick.
I tried to move the screen, but I have to click, I guess.
Oh.
Cause
Then the bog trotter called me too and called to me and told me to come out from the drag's cabin.
Because what are they doing?
We're up to no good.
Up to nothing good.
He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I'd seen or heard.
Hold it!
Threatened you how exactly?
Told me I'd only be able to scarper if I did exactly what he said. Which included giving false testimony in court 2 months ago. Yeah, that's it. And there was one other thing he said. Which was... He told me I'd have to hang onto the ticket from the pawnbroker shop and make sure not to lose it.
The ticket? Yeah, well, that's fine. It's been used like interchangeably, honestly. Well, I never.
Said that if he didn't show up to get the ticket off me 2 months before 2 months passed.
Oh no! Have we read too much? Oh no.
I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in lug. Stop it being forfeited.
You sure you didn't mean pawnbroker shop?
The pawnbroker shop. He left me with some brass to pay for it.
But really, why on earth would Mr. McGillard have done such a thing? Depositing his overcoat with a pawnbroker before the arrival of the police? It makes no sense at all. There would seem to be only one logical explanation, my lord. When McGilded had the driver deposit at Winterbanks was something he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs.
Anyway, after that, he let me go, so I legged it before the coppers showed up.
I thought for sure we were going to hear them talk. There was going to be excuse me of the two of them. Because they're just chatting the entire time. Well done, Gina. It can't have been easy to tell the truth like that.
Ginny's really put her faith in you, Bruno.
Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face a charge of perjury once this trial is over.
Aww.
So I need to use the time we have now to get as much information out of her as possible.
It's time to really go for it. Press her on every statement.
I suppose I should.
Oh, and another thing.
What's that?
Take a look at those two. Isn't it strange that they've been whispering to each other the entire time?
Yes, that is strange. It looks like they're having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. I wonder if there's anything I can do about it. I mean, there is, but they have to... Or can we just do it immediately? I feel like we've done the entire thing.
Yeah.
We pressed everything. Yes, indeed. Are we supposed to...
Hold it!
Can you, like, go across whilst...
Yeah, and I can do pursue now, but...
Excuse me.
Is this something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson, Mr. Graydon? Inspector, Mr. Graydon! Whoa!
Blimey, you trying to give me an heart attack?
You've been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Maybe we needed to do this to have them face us, and then we press Gina, and then we can excuse me. Right? Because when they were turned around, we couldn't notice anything, maybe. Tell us, what is the discussion about?
Discussion? With this fella? Pull the other one, sunshine. You think I've got anything to talk about with a shady gent like this?
And I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating. Thank you, Miss Lestrade. Thank you, Counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we now have a reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus.
It would appear on that night 2 months ago a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning this disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over price, McGilded took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life.
Which proves my point. The disc is clearly extremely valuable in some way. Although I don't understand why as yet.
And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilded's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited. I didn't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, the cove died right after his trial, I knew that. So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own? Well, why not, eh? They're only going to be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have got them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
True? Not yet. Miss Lestrade, it would appear Mr. McGilded was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be?
Eh? I ain't got no clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He was probably going to sell it. And can you blame me for thinking that? Thinking ain't no crime.
My lord! My lord? My lord!
Oh, my lord! The evidence your lordship requested has been located and is ready for the court inspection, sir. Mutter, 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 mutter.
The mysterious little box deposited by McGilded 2 months ago. There's no doubt in my mind that is a key piece to this far-reaching puzzle. I'm gonna have to go BRB real quick.
Okay.
So
I need a wee.
yeah, me too. That's why I'm going BRB.
Ah, twinsies!
Twinsies! So I'm gonna mute both Discord and stream this time. So yeah.
Okay. I will BRB. BRB. Hello. I win. You can start rioting now. Okay, now you know who you're rioting against. Dear, oh dear. It's a very tense moment to pause on. Bum, 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 bum. I assumed rhubarb was intentional. No. Wasn't sure if it was a bronchi nickname. It was just my brain.
Brunkly nickname. I'm here now, hello.
I have many names.
Yes.
From my lovely people. I get called Bronkly, Brunty, Broccoli, Briony. Just anything that begins with a B and ends with a Y.
Yeah. Why? I say Briony. Or Brony. Or then, because, and Boromir, which then became Boromir, because of course. So.
Brioche, yeah, that one.
Brioche, nice.
Brioche.
To be fair, that's the same first four letters, so I can understand that one. Right, we good to go?
Oh yeah, I also get Brocklehampton, which is...
Well, that's a bit long, that one.
No, yeah, that's my fancy name.
I see. That's when, like, it's like calling you by your middle name as well. It's like Brocklehampton.
Oh no, it's when I'm in trouble.
Brocklehampton, you know.
I'm sorry. Oh.
Wow. He could have lit.
Oops.
I would have been a perfect time. Are you good to keep going with 3 hours? Like we've ended streams at 3 hours before, but sometimes we go longer. But this is a logical pause point as well, though. What are you feeling?
Oh, I don't mind.
Well, I feel like we still have a lot to go, but you know, we could get maybe an hour more, maybe. I mean,
could go till 6. Well, 7 for you.
Yeah, go like a little bit longer. See if we can find like another natural pause point at some point. Maybe we swap witnesses or something. But I mean, feels like we surely must be towards the end now, or in part 4 of the trial.
Oh,
but
yeah.
How much can we possibly have left, though? We don't want to have to end next stream with only like 1 or 2 hours of stream.
It's the difficult thing.
Let me Google.
Anyone in chat who has played it before?
Yeah.
Carl, are you still here?
Yeah, roughly how much time do we have left? I'm gonna see.
It's always difficult when you don't know when games are going to end, because sometimes you'll be like, this feels like Endgame, and then you'll have like 5 more streams of it, and you'll be like, what?
Yeah. I'm gonna see if I can find like...
Maybe you have to defend yourself. We will! We're going to be accused of the murder again.
Trial day 1. How many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 1 part left. There is only 1 part left. Part 4. That is the final one. Should we maybe wait for that till next one and try to have less tangents next one? So then we can finish it all in one stream. Does that maybe sound like a good idea?
That sounds good.
Okay, and then we'll have a slightly shorter stream today, though. It's still 3 hours. Not like we're slacking. We've done plenty. Hell, you've already done a bunny stream and everything. So, but then our aim is to finish it next stream. We'll try to not go on crazy tangents, or if we do, we go on them after we're done. if anything.
Well, why don't we? Throughout next week, we'll record a podcast. And then we get it all out the way.
That's true. We could do that as well. But someone has a good point. We also have there it is.
No. Look at the spoilies.
Or slight. We call this a hint. So this is the article in question. Dun dun dun.
On Ace Attorney.
Exactly.
And as we are going to do the second one, but we're going to have a wee bit of a pause for Jangle G.
Exactly. We do really like this and we want to keep doing it, but it is a lot in one, so it's having a pause between the two feels good. And then we always have the escapades to do. They're like small short stories, which is mostly I think not gameplay, but like that's some stuff as well. A little bit of stories to do.
Yeah.
So we have these as well. If we at some point find ourselves, oh man, we are totally out of everything, you know.
Judicial assistant to the defense.
This is like my favorite line, I think. I don't know why.
Iris Wilson is proud to present her logic and reasoning spectacular.
Spectacular! She sounds so proud when she says the last bit.
Are there going to be any BRB streams during Jingle Jam?
I hope so, but I don't know. The schedule isn't entirely planned out yet. It almost is. And then we're going to get it, and then we're obviously going to all give inputs. But I'm going to try to piggyback on as many fun streams as possible involving Briony and Boba and Kirsty and my friends and my Nilesies and my Silases and all my bros. I want to do stuff with them because it's fun. And it's great. So if there's some indie games that needs to be played on some mornings or some fun event, because we have 14 days now rather than the whole month. It's a lot more streamlined, I guess, and a lot more there's less. Oh, okay, we're not done yet.
Yeah, you can carry on.
Okay. We have a lot more high pro. There's a lot less like filler streams. Let's say not that streams are filler, but like
essential look of a
Carry on.
sacrificial lamb.
I shall kill you. Yeah.
Lord
So
Strongheart has told me all about you. That
Lord
were soon to
Strongheart has
arrive
told
in
me all
London
about
2
you.
days ago.
That you arrived in London.
Mere
Me amateur. I could have done this man's voice. I feel like it actually comes quite naturally to me. But I kind of like being Mr. Eggsman as well, Ashley Graydon. He's a little bit more softer, a smugger, a little bit more British, perhaps. But yeah, voices. Anyway, so I'm saying there's not going to be like 50 slots available that there's, oh, we need someone here, we need someone here. It's anything, it's a lot harder because we're more people now, and there's less things like, just do that, I guess. So even if we want to do a bunch, we might only be there like 3 times or something.
Yeah, because
But,
it's nice for everyone to get to take part.
Yeah,
as
exactly. Like, I don't want to take up a spot for someone else to join in because Jangle's special, you know, and you want everyone to be part of it. But hopefully, you'll see us a couple of times at least.
Yeah.
So. And hopefully we do something together. I don't have anything confirmed that, but I'm sure there'll be some party game or some cute indie game or whatever that's in the bundle that wants to be played, and I'll happily join in on that and just talk bollocks, you know. I didn't want to say bullshit. It sounded a little bit bad, but so bollocks was better. I don't know.
In the last year when it was only 14 days, there was still like things that I did, like special December-y things, even though they weren't official Jingle Jams. Like we did the baking stream that Boba and I just watched. Lovely people baking things. So there's hopefully still some like special stuff, even if it's not official JJ.
I have a special thing in December. I haven't really told people much about it as such because it's Jingle Jangle's the main thing in December, but like late in December, I think maybe it might end up being the December 30th or something, so like really late. I'm doing a 10-year anniversary stream because it'll have been 10 years. 10 years since Bastion episode 1 came out on my YouTube channel.
Oh my gosh.
I technically had, I think, 3 videos before that, but Bastion is where it sort of really started properly, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to have like an anniversary stream where I like go back and look at old videos and talk about what's going on at the time and first time I played this and what happened when I did that, and so on and so on.
Are you gonna go back and record the like commentary over your own
Director's commentary?
Yeah.
I guess that's part of it, what it's going to be, right? Anyway, I just want to sort of have something like that, and
Is it
maybe
gonna be a
people come
download
in.
stream?
Maybe people
One-
are just gonna
yeah.
come in. Yeah, it's gonna be a really long one. I think people can come in and like share memories and whatever, and talk a little bit about 10 years of YouTube and Twitch and stuff, and go over stuff like, this is where you see people stop giving a shit about me. You see the views went down, and this is when I started streaming, and so on and so on and so on. I think it could be maybe fun. I don't really know anything particular about it, and I also don't want to like make a big deal out of it just yet, because everyone's attention right now, rightfully, is and should be on the Jangle. But after
This
that,
is
like
that
maybe 2 weeks after it's over, when it's about to be end of the year, there you go.
Said I was doing an impression of Briony, and it consisted of me saying I'm evil. Do you remember that stream?
I don't know.
Do you remember that stream? I remember that stream.
I don't know. That seems like something someone else said. That can't have been very long ago. It must have been yesterday, I think.
Sounds about right.
So you can't escape. There's always someone that clips it and snitches.
Yeah.
Did you see what they said? But
Many
I mean,
spies.
I rely on it at this point on. Like if someone talks about me, like, yeah, I'll be told. I'll be told. Right. Anyway, that's it for us. Lovely stream as always, Briony. Hopefully we can finish it next week. Get to the end of this long case and free our friend Gina. We will try our best not to get too distracted. So, because honestly, I think we maybe got in about 2 hours of the 3 hours or something of gameplay.
Yeah.
The rest talk. So that's 66%. That's 33% talking. 66% game talking. But it's all good. I had a lovely time anyway, though.
Me too.
Will you be running Discord tonight for games and stuff, maybe? Doesn't
Yes,
have to be
I will.
Dota. We can play something else if you want.
Play that.
Yeah, it's usually Dota. Yeah.
I'm gonna watch Taskmaster.
Oh
'cause
yeah.
I missed yesterday's one, but
I've missed a
other than
couple of episodes. I want to try to catch up. Yeah.
Other
On
than
my for on demand, which I have access to because I am British, so that's how I'm gonna watch it. So,
that- Yes.
yeah.
Rythian lives next door.
It's true. It's not true. I wish it was true. We could hang out all the time. Feels
Would be
bad, man.
nice.
Stupid COVID.
Although
Yeah.
there's Rythian whilst he's live acting all nice. When yesterday, do you know what he said? Do you know what he said in the
What did
privacy
I
of
say?
offline?
Oh
But
no! What
forgot
did I
to say
say?
off the record so I can share.
Oh no!
He said, "I'm not coming to Bristol this year because Briony will probably get me ill."
That is true. I did say that
He said, "I'll probably catch something from Briony."
from Briony.
So
Because we were playing a game and Briony was coughing her and dying, and I was like, oh
I was
god.
making myself laugh too much.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
lungs can't take laughter.
It wasn't even someone else saying something funny. Like Briony said something and laughed so hard at what she said herself that she got into coughing attacks. So that's that. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm not going to Bristol this year, which is very sad. But I think it's for the best, probably.
Because of me.
Well, not specifically because of you. If anything, wanting to meet you and Alex and everyone is the way I want to go. But yeah, next year, or hopefully maybe even earlier than next year's Christmas, I can come over to say hi. 'Cause that would be fun.
Might be a summer when the cold flu thing isn't as big.
Maybe, yeah,
Yogcon,
something like that.
that could happen. If you
Yeah.
come over, we'll just build it up around you.
Yeah, that could work. We'll focus on my time. It's like, all right, when are we doing this? All right, we book everything.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll figure out something. Until then, we'll just have to hang out on Discord and do streams together and talk about random stuff.
Yes.
Until then. But thanks everyone for watching. I hope you had a lovely time. Enjoy the weekend, everyone. and the rest of the Friday. Briony will be doing wholesome stuff on Sunday morning, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so keep an eye out over there if you want to chill with Briony. You can see me next on the Monday when we're in Armchair Admiraling. Not sure what we're doing this week yet. Maybe more Age of Empires 4. That's something we have to decide for once. We said we were going to be way better at deciding it ahead of time rather than 5 minutes before the stream starts. And we did that last week, but not so much this week. So we're going to have to get something sorted. And then I'm continuing Red Dead Redemption next week.
Red Dead Redemption?
Red Dead Redemption?
Red Dead Redemption?
I've really enjoyed it so far, Briony. But you don't know that because you haven't played.
No,
You
I
haven't
watched
really
Alex play it.
You watch Alex play it, yeah. I'm really having a lot of fun. In fact, I would be up for playing some Red Dead online at some point, if that's something you want to run around with. Maybe not 40,000 people and having lasso madness the entire time. Maybe just a group doing some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'll be up for that.
Okay, cool. Well, as long as 5th time loading up another goodbye, but goodbye everyone. Have a good time everyone.
Bye,
Goodbye and
bye,
see you.
Radius.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Radio. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So yeah, see you when I see you, everyone. Hopefully soon. Have a good time, and bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.